This to you under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Smash that like button. Let's go. What's up? It is your girl Survivor Speaks, and we are doing a twofer. So we had a live. You guys know I had to skip out a little bit early and do what I had to do. So I am back as promised. We're going to continue the reading of the official transcript. What's up to Nessa? See in the building. What's up, my one of my moderators? She's not really on YouTube, but she is on Instagram. Nessa C, drop your own Instagram link in the chat. What's up, Allie? Is like my right hand, like my head moderator, always holding me down. Appreciate you and love you so much, Allie. And I know that for always will be in here in a minute on this end. If you're watching over on X, formerly known as Twitter, please, there will be a link dropped over on X where you can come over here to YouTube, hit that like button, help us out. We're still on the road. We're close, but we're on the road to 4K, and we're hoping to get there soon. And you guys over there are always so strong in numbers. You can make that happen. You're stronger than the people that show up over here on YouTube. So you guys can make that happen. So this morning we started with the cross-examination of Cassie Ventura. Let's get into, before we get to the transcript, I just need to tell you guys, I always tell you that, YouTubers have to be responsible with their platforms. You have to be responsible with the cases that you are covering. You need to make sure, especially in this Diddy case, there is no cameras allowed in the courtroom. We have some people that are there. I trust one person's word. I watch one person that is there in the courtroom to get updates, and I trust that, she is bringing the, correct information to us as she sees it. A lot of times, then I watch news station. It kind of is being cross-referenced with some, ex-prosecutors that I watch that are covering this channel, this case, and they're giving their honest opinion. And there's one prosecutor in particular. She's young. She's giving the real and telling why the prosecutors are bringing these witnesses forth. There was a little question about the witness that was on the stand today. But I always tell you guys that we have to be very responsible with our platforms, no matter how big or how small. So this early, when I was live earlier, I was like pressed for time, and I spoke about it briefly, but this is what's going on. When a witness is testifying under a pseudonym, that means that it has already been approved by the courts, which would be, the judge, the prosecutors of the United States in this case, and the defendant's counsel. So they do not mention the person by name because it's for the person's safety or it's for some other reason. The person could be going through a lot of trauma, and so they don't want to be harassed by any Joe Blow walking down the street and who would recognize them in, not in this court setting. This type of witness is not even shown to the people that are in the courtroom in the overflow rooms. Only the people that are allowed in the main courtroom would see these witnesses, and they only allow 14 extra people in the main courtroom every day. Hence the reason why we see so much drama going on outside the courtroom. However, we do have, this is how bad it got. And the courts, there was 2 YouTubers. I'm waiting for a news station to make it live because nobody's really saying who. I haven't been watching like outside to see who's missing. But there's 2 YouTubers and 1 person from Twitter who was banned from the courtroom. They can no longer come in the courtroom because they doxed a witness that was testifying under a pseudonym. Her name is Mia. That is the pseudonym that she was testifying under. There's 2 YouTubers and 1 person from X. Now, when I did mention that I saw the other day that someone doxed this person. I don't believe that they got to her because where she doxed the person, it's not in the middle, it's not in the beginning of the video or anything like that. And the video wasn't about this case. It was interviewing somebody about this case, but it didn't say like everybody else is putting like the ex-assistant got chewed up by Brian Steele. They didn't put that in their video. What? They need to take a listen to put their ear to the street to hear what's going on. You need to edit that video, sis. I'm not telling nobody nothing. I don't have time. Like your platform is huge. You should already know this, that you cannot. If the prosecutors and the defendants, Diddy's attorneys, cannot say this person's real name, even though the attorneys on the defendant's end doxed her by mistake in court, then you as a YouTuber, content creator, influencer, whatever you call yourself, you cannot go to your platform and then dox this person. It's not going to feel well for you. And they better hope, because they said it may be an option, that they may be coming after them for legally. The marshals have their pictures. The marshals have their names. The court has their names. They have all the information that they need. So if these people try to show up and get into the courtroom, you won't be allowed. They have been banned permanently from getting into this trial. Can't even go into the overflow room. Can't come into the courthouse at all. Banned. And so they were supposed to be reaching out to them to have them remove the videos. Even though it may be a little bit too late, it could be somebody that has a big following. Who knows? They never identified who these people were. I just know that it wasn't our girl Tisa Tales, and I just, went over there and just supported her or whatever. I love what she's doing in this case, and she was just on ABC's channel, live, and she did a really, really great job. Shout out to that sister for landing that. She's going to be on Dateline sometime tonight. And so, yes, hopefully we're done, because she didn't really say a time for Dateline, but I'm sure she's live. Hopefully, I will go over there and make sure I support her and make sure I'm cheering for her in the comments, because that is just what Survivor Speaks does. I'm not into hating on somebody when it's your time to shine. It's your time to shine. And God, he kind of, it's your time. Let me open up the floodgates. It's no time to hate people. A lot of people don't like her. I don't know why. She hasn't done anything to me. So I support Tisa Tales. Like, go girl. Can't wait to see where you're going from here. She's not afraid to support, shout out your channel on her page. So shout out to Tisha for that. Tisa Tales for just making her appearance on Channel 7. You could tell she was a little nervous beforehand, but I think she did a great freaking job. So shout out to Tisa Tales for that. I'm never going to get on there and put a sister down when they're doing their thing. So yeah, what up, Jerome Street? Thank you so much. Thank you. That means so much to me. Thank you. And so we're going to get right into the reading of we're on day 4 The Cross of Cassie Ventura. And you guys go over there and make sure you follow Jerome Street too. He's just starting his channel. Make sure you follow Jerome Street. He's just starting his channel. You know, subscribe. Help a brother out. So before we go on to the transcripts, reading of the transcripts, we're going to hear a word from our sponsor, and then we will be right back, and we're going to pick up where we left off with the on the transcripts. This is the first day of cross. Finally, for Cassie Ventura. So we'll be right back right after these. And now a word from our sponsor. Survivor Speaks extends heartfelt gratitude to Emin Essentials for their generous sponsorship. From handmade soy wax candles for a cleaner burn to car and pet-friendly room freshener sprays, they offer quality products tailored to your needs and do not use any dye in any of their products. Custom packaging is available upon request, along with a limited luxury line while supplies last. Visit www.inmanessentials.com now, and don't forget to subscribe and enter your email address for an exclusive 10% discount on your first order. What are you waiting for? Now back to the show. And we are back. What's up? I'm back. We are back. So let me bring over the transcript. I don't know, my screen was doing something. It done just, yeah. Let's see if, we can get this together. Look, yeah, listen, I want to go here, but it wasn't doing what it was supposed to. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can deal with that. So, let me let's get started right here. Let me see if I could just zoom in just a little bit. I don't know. I think I better leave it alone. Oh, wait a minute. What am I talking about? It's right here in my face. Okay. Oh, just like that. That'll be great. All right. So we know that we left off, all right. So we passed that. Yeah. I'm not sure. Why are we back here? I don't know what happened, y'all. Why did it move? Hold on. Let me take this off the stage really quick, because I thought I left it where we were, and it decided that it wanted to do something else. So hold on. I know we took a brief. We took a brief, and I left it right on the page. That's what I remember. And then, yeah, I know. And it moved. Yep, because Cassie's attorney got up and he spoke. All right, here we are. All right, and so yeah, while I'm getting back to this spot, I don't understand how it moved, but anyway, so while I'm getting back to this spot, yeah, the witness they have on the stand today is strong, but there is some people saying that the government really didn't need her, but she's and that was hung over the balcony allegedly. So I don't know, we'll see. And they said she's being questioned by Miss Nicole Woolen, and so far she hasn't really been able to break her. But When certain people think things go one way in court, you have the quote unquote professionals of they say something different. It's mixed reviews as it relates to this defendant, but um so far they can't shake her. So um I don't know how this happened. Oh man. Because we were at a specific point. All right. They was doing all this talk about BlackBerry, and it brought us back, um, to the old days. um, okay, so here we went through all of this morning. We moved far. Like I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't think that we read that much this morning, but we actually did. Okay, here we are, right here. So we were right at the recess. Um, Cassie needed a break, so they're going to come back in 10 minutes, is what they are saying. And so this is where we left off, right here. Because it was a kind of odd spot because of, my obligations. And not, things that I had to do, and not you guys. But okay, so we were right here. The court, so we're going to start. The court says we will be back in 10 minutes. Miss Ventura, during the break, you are not allowed to have any communications with anyone on the government side. The witness says thank you, and they go into recess. So the court says Miss Ventura just needed a break, which is fine. If anyone else needs a break, that's fine as well. Since this is going to be a recurring issue as to these text message exchanges, my understanding, Ms. Estevallo, that these are admissible and not being presented for an improper purpose because they go either to effect on the listener or to the declarant's state of mind. Is that correct? That's correct. That's what I had understood. Ms. Johnson, do you have a response? Because I anticipate that we will see a lot more text messages that go to that, meaning that anytime the statements are being introduced, for instance, just to give an example, willingness or eagerness to engage in a freak off or statements of love, all of which Ms. Estevallo at least is saying fall within the exception for state of mind or effect on the person receiving that message. I believe that most of the messages that they have read, excuse me, in the text messages so far that the defense have read in court are a bunch of 403, too much, cumulative. It's not even there, like short excerpts. A lot of them do not make sense to me. I don't understand why they are reading these text messages and putting them on the record. For always, welcome. I knew you were coming. I said it earlier. Thank you so much for coming back. Did you see Tisa on Channel 7? ABC here on YouTube. It was awesome. It also was on Hulu and different places wherever they live stream. So, I gave a shout out to her. So glad that she was able to do that. So a lot of stuff, like I said, did not make any sense. Like to me, like things there, text messages that they're entering that they have really at the beginning, when I read everything in the beginning, the arguments back and forth, it really, really, really makes no sense. It's just, to me, a waste of time, muddying the waters, all of that. All of that. Even now, I think that the defense is trying to run out the clock because Jane is supposed to be testifying, and Jane is here for a limited time. She's going to be traveling, and so they have to get her testimony and cross in before she's scheduled to leave on her vacation. So that's what I think that they're doing now in the current, case. We'll see. They tried to do it with Cassie, it didn't work. So right. So Miss Johnson said, Your Honor, I don't believe that the questioning is that precise. I believe that the questioning that's been asked so far is being used to prove that the truthful statement is being used to suggest that Miss Ventura wanted to do this. And all of these messages are being offered for their truth and not for the limited purpose of her state of mind or the effect on who was hearing them. And to the extent that these messages are being emitted for that limited purpose, we again request a limiting instruction for all of these messages so that the jury is not confused and is able to understand the limited purpose. What is the other purpose? Meaning that when there is a message that says, for instance, I love you, what is the other purpose? Meaning, doesn't that just go to the declarant state of mind and what is being communicated to the person receiving that message? Just to give that example, just so I'm understanding the objection. What is the other improper purpose that the jury could misunderstand the evidence being used for? In that example, it's being the improper purpose is that he in fact loves her. It's being used to prove that fact. Not that it's being used to prove that at the time Miss Ventura thought that he loved her or understood based on what he said that he loved her. The questioning is suggesting that he in fact loved her, and that is the distinction. So the court is saying, forget what he's saying in the text. He basically told us, that was a bunch of gibberish, hogwash, and all that because he didn't love her. And that was never his girlfriend. Listen, I'm with them on this. Like, come on, all the time. Like, he loves somebody. Like, it rolls off his tongue, just like a faucet water. So the unlimited supply. Sometimes, depending on where you live, the faucet water is bad. Sometimes it's good. I think when he said, "I love you," it's just he's definitely is. Still grooming her at this point since the message they're showing today, for the ramp up. So, because he ramped this thing up. The abuse ramped up. The freak offs ramped up. Everything started to ramp up, to get worse. The wrong abuse ramped up. So, yes, it's still a part of the grooming phase. That's why a therapist can get on here and explain to you without even looking at Cassie's text messages or anything like that and tell it's textbook. That they never really change their spots. Narcissists, abusers, people that are grooming others to, for the reason that this guy, he just groomed her. And as he went forward, it got worse and worse and worse. And he entered more people into the realm. Thank goodness that they're allowing people to flip on him. I think that some of these people should still be co-defendants of his, and they should at least do some time as well. But they're all saying that, oh, we were scared of him. And then now some witnesses that they put on the stand, they don't have that fear like the CFO. He didn't come in here and have that fear, but guess what? Mr. Agnifilo tried to have a Brian Steele moment and said to the CFO, you like Diddy? You didn't have an issue with him. He was a nice guy. Wasn't he? Isn't that true? They said his CFO was like, what? He's going to say, forget that. Isn't it true that he was like a likable guy? He was a good guy. He was a good person. And his CFO was like, I don't know if I could say that. Mr. Agnifilo, go sit down, because now you try to make this man is not going to say what you want him to say. Now, he said that he was a great business person. He had a lot of bright ideas. He's going to give him that. He's not going to lie on him. But when you asked him, he's a good business person. There's a distinction between somebody being a good business person and being a good person. Ain't no way in the world he had one of his assistants cracking his knuckles when they needed to be cracked. This is the type of person that we're dealing with here. It's crazy. And people just want to walk around this bubble. Oh, they're making it up. Oh, that's not true. Oh, they just trying to take a black man down. Stop looking at this through a colored lens. Because the majority of the people that this abuse was happening to was black people. So people, just stop. Stop. Cassie was, Spanish, but Kim, she was a black woman. What are we talking about? We don't know. I don't know Jane. I don't know who Jane is. I don't know what color she is. Doesn't really matter. He's an abuser. Gina Hune, she's Philippine. He liked them all. Craig Mack. Flavor in your ear. That's what it is. All different flavors for him. But what bothers me is that Kim wasn't pretty enough to be on his arm. That's why he got a Cassie. Kim was beautiful. Let's not forget that. She was beautiful. And that's why she was a model. But to Diddy, she wasn't what the mainstream thought was pretty enough to be seen on his arm. So he got him a Cassie, a trophy, and treated her, in the words of For Always, like a plastic blow-up doll with no feelings, no brain, no mind of her own, none of that. A punching bag. That's what he got him. All right. Gina said he told those are somebody's kids and walk away. G said he told them those are somebody's kids and walk away. Discuss what Gene Dill said in an interview that Diddy said about Dandy Kane. I'm gonna get these girls on rugs and pimp them out to my boys. What? And Gene told him those are somebody's kids and walked away disgusted. Yeah, he had to yoke him up about his mother. Remember he talked about that? How Diddy yelled at his mother one day? And then one of the security guards said that he saw him slap his mother and Gene lost it. But that was the alleged slap happened after Gene. But Gene yoked him up for hollering at his mother. But she came up in the courts yesterday. Because guess what? Some of this money that was moved around and stuff like that is money that was moved into her company's name, Janet Combs Inc. So, let's say a prayer. That woman is 80 years old. I still don't think that she deserves to be heckled. That still is her son. She's going to show up for him. I was just raised to not disrespect my elders, regardless as to how you feel about her. I think that it's disgusting that there are some people out there, and there is a certain YouTuber. His voice is so, you can tell it's him when he's talking. I think he's so disrespectful. And if he doesn't watch it, and if he's not careful, he's going to F around and find out how they mess around in New York. It was very disrespectful for you to yell out to that 80-something-year-old woman. I think she's 80. I think she's just 80. I don't think she's 80 plus yet, that she was so fine that you would drink her bath water. You're going to F around and find out in New York what they do in New York and how New York really gets down. That is over the line. That is way over the line. That is not a compliment. That's way over the line. That is monster behavior. Part of what her son is in court for. How do you say that to an 80-year-old woman? I said, I couldn't believe it. I said, I know exactly who that is that said that. He gonna get He gonna F around and find out in New York, though. Stay there a little longer, bro. You gonna get done up in New York. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you what it is. You're supposed to get in New York. Let me tell you something. I will go to New York. I will be walking so fast because that's how they move, for one. Somebody say something, I'll be like, act like they never said anything. And then I would be just face forward, going. Like, it's no stopping. See, all this is a game to some people that's outside, this courtroom. You're excited. This is the first time you're doing this. You're not sitting behind this keyboard anymore. You're out in the public. And so I'm just being reckless all the way around. All the way around. I don't know. I just hope that we don't read about he wound up missing. You're doing too much. He's never been good looking. I saw your comment for always. Listen. Hey, Becca, how are you? Welcome. I've never, ever thought that Diddy was handsome. Like, a lot of people don't think that I'm attractive or cute. We all have our preferences, but he definitely always gave me chipmunk vibes at the cheeks. All right, and then he shaped funny on the bottom. She just shaped funny on the bottom. I just never was never nobody I was ever attracted to. So let's get on. Let's get on here with this. Let's get on here with this. Never know what. Run up and get done up in NYC. What? You see, Uncle G wasn't playing the other day. You can't run up on me like that. Run up on me like that again. You gonna get knocked out. Now you go ahead and F around and find out and run up on Gene. I didn't realize Gene Deal was that tall. I didn't realize that he was that tall until he came to the trial. I didn't realize. And he said, anybody messing with Tisa? Now, I got it. That's my needs. Run up and get done. Like, yeah, stop playing around in New York City. You don't know about the people that you are messing with, and they do not care. They sat Gene outside. They told Gene just stay home for a couple of days, cool off, and then come back. But I didn't see any proof anywhere where he put his hands on anybody. He just basically said what he said. And that's that. Chickmunk, and yes, I like bow legs. I like bow legs now. Wait a minute, hold on. I like them when they're a little bow. I don't think he's bow legged. He is funny built on the bottom. I saw that because I saw it in a picture. Actually, the other day, I never really looked at Diddy like that. He's never been anyone that attracted me. So I was never attracted to him. So let's go. So, let's go. So the fact that he loved her is the improper use of this material that's being offered for its truth. They come around and saying the same thing I'm saying. He didn't love her. So if it's being offered just to show that Miss Ventura at the time thought that he loved her, that is coming in for its state of mind. And in that case, we would request that the jury be instructed accordingly. But the questioning, I get it. Miss Esteballo, you have heard the objection. I think there is probably some perhaps fine-tuning of some of the questions that will make sure that it's understood why you're trying to introduce these exhibits with the questioning. I can ask further questions about these exhibits. I was trying to keep it relatively brief. I don't think Ms. Johnson is requesting a higher volume of questions. I think she is asking for the questions to be perhaps phrased a little bit differently. So it isolates the reason why you believe these exhibits would be admissible in the first place. Meaning, if you are going to either state of mind or effect on the listener, this is what you told him, or this is what he received from the message you were sending, things of that nature. I'm not trying to curate your questions. I'm the go-between between the parties. He's the referee. I'll do my best. You will make sure I'm staying within the rules. Your Honor, may I add one additional? I think really incurring it into the time period is important because the state of mind exception is about the contemporaneous state of mind when this message was sent. It is not about the state of mind writ large over a period of years, which is what this questioning is suggesting at times. I said that earlier. Like, yeah, it's not. It's a specific period of time, and I think that Cassie was trying to say that too when she answered, because she's answering in that way. Oh yeah, I thought that. Oh yeah, at the time. Oh yeah, like yeah, I thought that at the time, but she doesn't believe it now. That is the a big thing. So, Your Honor, 803.3 is an exception to hearsay, so that it does come in for its truth. As to in that moment, as to the timing issue, there were perhaps, as to the last round of questions, I believe that the time was highlighted. The time is apparent in the exhibit being shown to the jury. You objected a couple times for that reason. If you have further issues that come up in the questioning, you can raise the objection, and I'll, as I often do, ask Ms. Estevallo to rephrase her question where appropriate. So we'll come back in 5 minutes. Let's have Ms. Ventura back. Let's get our jury. So, Ms. Estevallo, when you're ready, you may proceed. I believe we were on Defense Exhibit 1165, and I move it for admission. No objection. Exhibit 1165 will be admitted. Please publish for the jury. Ms. Ventura, this exchange begins with the subject, what you thinking about from Mr. Combs to you, correct? Correct. And then you respond with an extremely explicit message in response. Yes. And you responded on August 7th, 2009, right? Yes. And August 7th, 2009, again, is 2 days after the discussion with Mr. Combs about planning a freak off. Correct? Yes. You know what? For always, I think that's the reason, one of the reasons why he's doing it, because he is funny built. Um, it's a lot of his insecurities, being able to assert his power over, over people, to overcompensate for what he doesn't like when he looks in the mirror. So okay, let's go. And August 7th, 2009, again, is 2 days after the discussion with Mr. Combs about planning a freak off, correct? Yep. And Mr. Combs responds and sends a message to you saying, I can't wait. That's why I want to see, right? Yes. And when you receive that message, that's why I want to see. Did you interpret that as him talking about in the context of a freak off? Yes, I would have thought we were talking about a freak off. And how did you reply at the top? I can't wait either. Lord, she set up for that once she walked right into it. That was on August 7th, 2009. This was all on the same day, right? Yep. In anticipation of the freak off that you were going to do with him, right? Right. Can we please put up for the witness, parties, and the court, Defense Exhibit 1166? Ms. Ventura, does this reflect a BlackBerry communication between you and Mr. Combs on August 7th of 2009? I'm just reading through it. Yep. Move for admission. No objection. What's the exhibit number? 1166. 1166 will be admitted. Beginning at the top, at the bottom, Mr. Combs sends you a message with the subject line, I'm so warning, on August 7th, 2009. Correct? Yep. And you received that message, and in response, what did you say? OMG, I was about to text you the same thing. And he replies saying, how you feeling? Talk to me. You're supposed to be seducing me all day, right? Yeah, I'm just looking at the time stamps. The bottom one said 7:49. We were just in different places. Go ahead, Cassie. Cassie's like, hold on, wait a minute. Y'all jumping all over the goddamn place. We was just over there. Could y'all wait, hold on a minute. So you're reading the same way I am. I believe so, from the bottom up, right? Yes. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't. Let's get a question, as the judge says. Okay, enough of this back and forth between y'all two. Let's get a question, okay? All right, so you say, laugh out loud. Sorry, I'm nervous. I feel like I want to F, right? She wants the truck. Y'all take the TR off and y'all know what to put there. Yes, that's what it says. Can we please put up for the witness, the court, and the parties, Defense Exhibit 1167? She thinks she's slick. Ms. Ventura, does this reflect a communication via BlackBerry between you and Mr. Combs on August 7th of 2009? It looks like one, yep. Mr. Combs says, I'm so horny, I can't concentrate right. Objection, it's not in evidence. I apologize. Move for admission. No objection. 1167 will be admitted. Please publish for the jury. Mr. Combs says in the subject line, I'm so horny, I can't concentrate, right? Yes. And what do you say in response after receiving that message? It says, so what do we want to do? I'm going to Dwayne Reed to grab candles, and I'm going home to pack us a bag. Do you want any regular clothes, by the way, or just sweats? Then I can go check in and set up the room. I'll eat, take my vitamins, laugh out loud, and get ready before I leave the house. Just want to know what you're thinking. So this reflects your response to him indicating that you are going to set up a room for a freak off, right? Yes. Can we please put up the defense exhibit 1177 just for the parties, court, and witness? Ms. Ventura, does this reflect a BlackBerry communication? The BlackBerry communication is something that, listen, would take me right like, girl, we ain't had BlackBerry since. And I get this showing the dates, but come on, this is the BlackBerry. Okay, the BlackBerry days. Between you and Mr. Combs on August 18, 2009. It looks like it, yeah. Move for admission. No objection. 1177 will be admitted. Miss Ventura, can you read the bottom message from you? From BG Newpin. That's BG is baby girl. If you weren't here or you don't know. I just deleted our little vid to this off my camera. It was so dope. And does that refer to a video of a freak off with you and Mr. Combs? I'm not sure. She's like, I'm not sure. Would you have taken any other videos with Mr. Combs? Yeah. In response to that message, Mr. Combs says, I'm going to do it again, right? Yes. Does that suggest to you that he was referring to taking another video with you? I would think so. I just don't know what we're talking about exactly. Objection, speculation. Miss Estevallo, you can move on. Miss Ventura, when you took videos with Mr. Combs on your devices, you testified on direct that you typically deleted them, correct? The actual videos, yeah. Yes, and this message suggests your deletion of a video off of your camera, correct? Yes. In response to this message, you asked, do you have any more pills on you, right? Uh-huh. What was that referring to? Again, I'm not sure which kind of pills, but yeah. What kind of pills were you taking around this time in 2009? Around this time, I was taking opiates. What kind of opiates? I don't know specifically on this date which ones, but Norco was one that I mentioned. And Mr. Combs was also taking opiates at this time, right? Yeah, I don't know how much, I don't know what his intake was then, but yeah. But the message suggests that you're asking if he has any pills on him that you could have, right? Yeah. And going back to the videos, you testified on direct about deleting videos that were in your possession, right? Yes. And by recording them on your devices, it gave you the capability of deleting them, right? If I saw them, yes. At a certain point in your relationship, you insisted on recording them on your device so that you could delete them, right? No. Would you want to record them on your device so you could delete them? Girl, see what I'm saying about the defense? Child, she asking these questions and she's going in a circle to try to jam her up. And that text is why I think she was saying that she wanted to FO to him because he said she should be seducing him. Yes, for always. Yes. I'm right there with you. Like, yes, that is why. He just said it, right? So I didn't want them to be recorded at all. If they were going to be recorded, you prefer that they would be on your device. I don't know. So in some of the videos, did Mr. Combs appear in them as well? Yes. Before we leave this exhibit, turning to the bottom, you wrote, it was so dope, right? Yes. And that's referring to a little video on your camera, right? Yeah. Could we please put up defense exhibit 1179? Miss Ventura, does this reflect a BlackBerry communication between you and Mr. Combs on December 8th of 2009? I'm going to read through it first. I've read it. Does this reflect a communication between you and Mr. Combs on December 8th of 2009? I don't remember it, but it appears to be, yeah. Move for admission. No objection. Please publish for the jury. 1179 will be admitted. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Ms. Ventura, I'll read Mr. Combs' initial message to you, to your subject line. If you just entered the building here on YouTube, please hit the like or dislike button for the a free way to support the show. It will not tell us who you are if you liked or disliked the video. It's just for engagement to push the video out for engagement. Thank you so much for stopping by, just in case you got to run. So, Ms. Ventura, I'll read Mr. Combs' initial message to you, subject line, the things I want to do for you and to you. I want to be nasty for you. I want to do what you want me to do. I want to make you, yeah. He want to make her bum more than you've ever came. And in the text, he says, I want you to feel safe to let go. Grooming at its finest. Y'all don't be fooled. Please don't be fooled. Can you begin reading your response? We'll take it one line at a time. I like that. I want it, and I want to give you the same. I just think that I have to trust you beyond it just being actual. Do you hear what she said right there in the text messages? Come on, y'all. I just need people to stop being one-track minded. Use your context clues. Use your comprehension skills. If you went to school, if you paid attention in class, even, you have some street smart people that are just smart and they never paid attention in school. They're very intelligent. I mean, it just happens that way. But I need people to open their minds, stop using one track, remove the celebrity from this case. Read your context clues. Right now, she is still in the grooming phase. So here we go. But she's saying she doesn't trust him beyond this just being actual. So even back then, that's how she felt. And that is what he has to be giving off, right? For me, I am an all action girl, right? Woman, excuse me, because I'm a grown woman. Let me say that. A grown woman. Words, a lot of words don't mean a lot to me. I go by your actions a lot of the times. And basically, that's when you get to the heart of who someone is, what they're going to do, whatever. It's their actions. And so a lot of times you can say something to me. I'm going to see what you're going to do, because that is what means more to Survivor Speaks. You tell me all day long. What you want to tell me? You're deaf. Yep. But baby, I be looking. And the spidey senses be all the way up. I'm going by your actions, not your words. But when I treat you the way you treat me, don't forget your part in what you did. Don't forget your actions. Because I'm not going to ever say it. Like, okay, I'm doing this because you did this. And I'm not a tit for tat person. Let's be clear. But I'll wait and observe and wait and see how you treat me. I don't care about what you say. At the end of the day, it's how you treat me. And then once I flip, that's it. We're going to act accordingly. Yup, just exactly the way you treated me. That's exactly how I'm going to treat you. But you don't get to cry now because it's your turn. I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it real with y'all, You don't get to cry now because it's your turn. You don't get to do over all the wrong that you've done. I'm just giving back to you what you gave to me. You don't like it, do you? You see how Cassie's giving him back what he gave to her? He don't like it. He don't like it at all. He does not like it. A typical narcissist. Anywho, but you've done me wrong. It's everybody else's fault. Oh no, that's what I thought. That's what I did. I know what I did. But now I did this. But I know I did this. And you're doing this. And they're doing this. It's never you. You can never say you're sorry. You can never say I apologize. That's a narcissist for you. They never apologize for anything. And if they say sorry, You better be looking. You better be looking. You better have them eyes open, because trust me, there is something that's going on in the backdrop. Stay woke, people. So, do you know what I mean? In order to be more open with the things we do in bed, I need to feel safe like home. Like this is my husband, and this is the only man that will ever have this aggressive, actual side of me. She's trying to tell him. She really don't want to do these freak offs. That's what she just said. That's what she said, and she said it in a nice way to him, because she knows that he would take her head off. So she said it in a very nice way. Very clever way. She said that. I don't really want to be doing these freak offs. I want to do this, but with the man that I think that is my husband. I'm pretty sure all those attorneys and some of the people in the gallery heard and they have great communication skills and could could put context together and read in between the lines that to what she's really saying. She don't want to do these freak offs. Way back here when they had the BlackBerry, back in 2009, when they was in a relationship for only about a couple of years. She been telling this man she don't want to do these freak offs. But he got to tread lightly. I'ma just bash you a little bit. I'ma tap you a little bit. Reel you back in so that I'm sorry. So I can ramp it up. Stay woke, y'all. Can we pause there? In this message, you're showing that you feel two ways about the freak offs of Mr. Combs, right? Even they know. See the question? I didn't read ahead. I'm sorry. I did not. I wasn't in the courtroom. So she's saying that two ways. She felt two ways, right? Yeah, she's confused. He's saying that he loves her, but she knows that what he's doing to her is just actual. So it's not really love. Come on now. They know. This dummy right here that's questioning her, because right now that's what I feel like she's like for asking this. That's what I feel like she is for asking this question, because you are just proving just what I said. Can we pause there? In this message, you're showing that you feel two ways about the freak offs of Mr. Combs, right? Yeah. And the hesitancy that it reflects relates to the fact that you want him to be the only one that he's doing these things with. Withdrawn. She withdrew the question because she realized, oh shit. I'm making sense of what she's saying. Oh, damn. Withdrawn. Damn. Yeah, I know she over there looking like at her team until I feel out the side of her eyes like, please take it easy on me when we go in the back. I didn't mean to F that up. I didn't mean to F that up. You F'd it up pretty bad. Withdrawn. We can't unring the bell. We heard what you said. But you get exactly what Cassie was saying. Child, it reflects that your acceptance of doing freak offs with him is that it's like home. Like, this is my husband, and this is the only man that will ever have this aggressive sexual actual side of me, right? Am I reading that correctly? Ms. Johnson says objection, and the court says sustained. Baby, don't try to confuse the jury. You said what you said above, and I'll say withdrawn and just go right into something else like we did not catch it. We caught it. Objection sustained. I think you need to rephrase. Do you understand this message to reflect feeling two ways about freak offs? Would it help to read the rest of the message first? No, she don't need to read the rest of nothing. This is your mistake, ma'am. She says, yeah, the last time was a mistake. This is the attorney now saying this. The last time was a mistake, but since has made me feel a little dirty and okay, so she's reading the text messages. The last time was a mistake, but since has made me feel a little dirty and grimy as opposed to sensual and spontaneous. That's the only reason why I go back and forth in my mind with wanting and not wanting to do it. When we used to freak off, when we were so in love, there were no questions asked. It felt right. Like it literally made sense for the next step in our ex life together. Now I want to let y'all know that this is the diddler that is sending this message. I get nervous and I'm just becoming, okay, no, this is her. I get nervous that I'm just becoming the girlfriend that you get your fantasies off with, and that's it. I don't get the other part anymore, at least. I don't understand why the attorney is reading this, and this is why I got confused, because this is actually the attorney that's reading this. I'm not understanding why she's reading when she asked her to read what she said. So that's why I thought that this was the diddler, because she's reading this. They have not read this yet. So that's why I'm a little confused, because why you start reading her parts? So when you sent that message, were you afraid that Mr. Combs was only seeing you for X in this way, and that you were only fulfilling that part of his ex life? Again, this is Cassie now. Again, I don't remember this message specifically, but the end of it sounds like that. Yeah, like I was worried about that. Yes, she did not want to do the F-offs. She wanted to be freaky, but just with him. What don't y'all get? I'm not understanding how they are confused. And this is BlackBerry communication way back from 2009. So let's stop with it all, y'all. This is just crazy. You say that you go back and forth in your mind with wanting and not wanting to do it, right? Yep. And you say that's the only reason why I go back and forth in my mind, right? That's what it says in the message, yes. Because at that time, you're afraid that you are being treated as someone who could just get his fantasies off with, right? That was a concern. And this was in December of 2009, after you had been seeing him for 2 years. Yep. I don't understand what this attorney doesn't get, that this is not helping you. But I guess she thinks she up there cooking. So we're going to let her cook. We're going to let her burn. We're going to just let her cook. We're going to let her burn. Because you're not cooking, lady. You're not. Sorry. This is not helping you. So, and you still were not public in your relationship with him, right? Correct. Exactly. She was never his girlfriend. Even when they started coming out public, she was only a trophy. What he thought the mainstream would accept. But she couldn't wear her hair certain ways because he said it made her look too Mexican. Somebody take the wheel. I've never heard somebody take the wheel, because that's what he told her. That's what we read on Direct. That was one of the responses she gave on Direct. He didn't let her wear her hair certain ways because she looked too Mexican. All the Mexican people that mess with this man, I hope y'all not out here windmilling in the streets for this dude, because if she's part Mexican, why can't she be? Why can't she look that way? Because it's not appeasing to the mainstream. Sir, you built your whole career on the backs of Black and brown people. But I got it a long time ago. You're not trying to really appeal to us. You're trying to appeal to the men that got money. And they don't look at us. Screw you, Diddy. All right. And so it was a fear that you would never be his public girlfriend, right? I guess that was something that was thought about. It wasn't a huge fear. It was kind of an understanding that we had more so. By doing these free calls with him in the first couple of years of your relationship, was that a defining feature of your relationship with him, doing these free calls? By defining, what do you mean? Was it an important part of your relationship? It became a very, I don't know if important would be the word, but integral part of our relationship early on. And you wanted your relationship to develop more, right? Right. And this message was sent to him by you, correct, via BlackBerry. The longer part of the message was me. And this is also in response to Mr. Combs saying, I want to do what you want me to do, right? Yes. And this reflects your open communication with him about how you felt, right? I would say it appears to reflect some deep thoughts about your relationship and your perspective on freak-offs, right? Yeah. And you felt safe sending him this message, knowing that withdrawn. Why you keep messing up? And what's wrong with looking Mexican? Yeah, he's stupid. Because he's trying to appeal to a different race. That's why. So he can look like, oh, I am the African American guy, and everything about him is about race. Did you see the video where there was a Caucasian guy that was knocked out at his party, and he said, "This will happen to the Caucasians when they come to a Diddy party." That was so unnecessary, so unnecessary, unnecessary. And I hope, because he has his team, and sometimes they don't know what to drop out here. And so they drop in videos that do more harm to him than good. I hope that that person in the video, yeah, just go ahead and get your coin, because he's told in the video exactly who you are. So go ahead and get your coin. Because listen, they done set a drink on the man's head and everything. So you felt comfortable sending him this message, right? Yes, at the time I did. But why did you withdraw your last question? And you felt safe sending him this message, knowing that what, he would knock her head off? Let me finish the question for you. But you said withdrawn, knowing that withdrawn. Listen, and then you're going to ask the same question, but you left that knowing that off of there. Okay? You felt comfortable sending him this message, right? Yes, at this time I did. I'd like to go back to the very beginning of your relationship. I know we're already 2 years in. You testified that your romantic, intimate relationship with him began at your 21st birthday party when he kissed you, right? Sort of, yeah, in a way. You testified he kissed you at your 21st birthday party, right? Yes. And that was the first time you kissed each other. Child, I wouldn't have said yes. Remember what she said about that first kiss? She wasn't expecting it, and she ran. She didn't know how to feel, but she said yes. At that time, you were a very successful 21-year-old, right? I was trying. Yeah. Your 21st birthday party was at a club in Las Vegas. Yep. I believe there were other celebrities there in attendance. There were. Like who? The actual party? Yeah. Sean was there, and he brought Dallas Austin. He brought Britney Spears. Child, Britney Spears. Somebody help Britney. I think those were the two people that stand out to me. How was a 21-year-old able to attract such celebrities to her birthday party in Las Vegas? That was all him. Yeah, I didn't know them. This is when he was out he was on the chase. Miss Esteballo. He was on the chase. He was chasing her at this point. Come on. So yeah, he wants to show her, you can have all this if you just do what I want you to do. Child. These people are dumber than I thought. So that was all him. Yeah, I didn't know them. What accomplishment had you already achieved by the time you were 21? Wow. I successfully put out my first album by then. That was a big deal for me. And she was a model. Let's not forget, she was a very successful model. Y'all people keep sleeping on models. Hey, child, listen. I used to go in there, like I said, and make somebody's whole paycheck in less than 8 hours. Let's just say that. Yes. And the campaigns that she did, let me tell you, I know that she was making like in a double digit somebody's salary for a year. Trust me, I know. So she was making millions when she met Diddy from her modeling career. So let's not play. She continued to model, here and there when he would let her. But he knew that she was making bank, because that's when his ugly behind started doing campaigns too. And so he saw what the money was. It wasn't because he was Diddy. It's the money. Well, it was because he was Diddy. But he wasn't getting those type of endorsement deals. Even when Big was around, Diddy was not getting endorsement deals like that. Not with these companies, he was not. So let's start there. Diddy ain't the modeling type. Anything attached to his name is because of who he became as a businessman. But as far as, him attracting these brands, just being Diddy, you don't have the look. All right. So wow, I successfully put out my first album. By then, that was a big deal for me. How successful was that album? It did well, I think. We have a plaque. Child, I don't even know. Fair to say that you were a celebrity in your own right. That's fair to say, yeah. And you had very popular songs. I had some, yeah. They should have did their homework. The modeling industry and the music industry, it's like a glove. It goes hand in hand. So, irregardless as to whether she was going to make music, being that she was a successful model, she can get into those inner circles. Trust me. So, yeah. What is she talking about? That were so she said she had some, yeah, that was well known, that were well known at the time. Yep, it's me and you. That was a hit everywhere. It's me and you. Now I can't tell y'all about nothing else that this child made. But I know about it's me and you. Nah, 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 nah. I know that one. That's it. And people want to know you and get to know you. Yep. And you've been modeling for some time. I'm glad you brought it up, ma'am. Yes. And you're very beautiful and charming. Thank you. Is she? Are you trying to use the same word that the people were saying about Diddy? Charming. Miss Estefano, sit down somewhere. Please sit down. Please. Please. And thank you. Please and thank you. Sit down, Miss Estefano. That's listen. So, can I show the witness and the parties in the court defense exhibit 1380? So, by the time you were 21 years old, how long? Like 3 years. 3 years? Yeah. And did you have a manager? I did. Who was your manager? At that time, it was a man named Ed Woods. Did you have other people that worked for you on your team? I had people from his management office. It was Casablanca Records. It was Tommy Mottola. Lives on the road. I'm sorry, y'all. Company and the people that worked at that office. Who's Tommy Mottola? He's a really popular old school music exec. He's well known. He's well known? I think he's pretty well known. Yeah. What? Is Tommy Mottola well known? Did you just ask that question? What? She asked the question, y'all. Is Tommy Mottola? Uh, okay. Who's Tom? He's well known. What? Okay. All right, all right. I think he's pretty well known. Yeah. What was your financial situation as a 21-year-old having a successful album out? At that time, it wasn't so much the album. I had been modeling for a while. Tell her about it. So I saved up money from that. Did a lot of commercial catalog type stuff, baby, but I was doing well. The commercial catalog type stuff is where the money is. Everybody can't do commercial modeling. You don't have the look for it. Everybody can't do high fashion. You don't have the look for it. Everybody can't do couture modeling. You don't have the look for it. They even have something they call androgynous, being androgynous model, meaning that, and people make money, especially now. I'm no longer in that industry, but I know it was a big thing up and coming, especially within the LGBTQ community. You have Grace Jones could be considered an androgynous model, but she was beautiful in her own right. So yeah, girl, do your homework. But in the commercial modeling world, baby, that is where you are really shooting off often. That is where they have you on catalogs. They have you walk in stores. You see people in the store. You walk in. You walk in. You go on their website. You're on the website. And then it became like Instagram. It became Facebook. Listen, let me tell y'all. I was in a store in New York. They was having something at a store because I modeled for a commercial chain. They was having something somewhere way in Detroit, and they tagged me in it. Like, they got you up here in the store because once you take the picture and they pay you for doing that campaign, they can do what they want to do with it. Sometimes they don't even tell you. I sent you the campaign you shot to the store out in, like, Detroit is an urban area, right? Listen, it is what it is. Oh, I'm like, oh shoot, like, yeah, they really, like, they didn't even tell me. Oh, listen, because they only shooting the next group of models for the next, you know, round of clothes that they are coming out. They have a lot of clothes made in advance, things that they are just trying, things that they're just putting out there, things that are limited. So sometimes you just never know. You're shooting for these brands. I'm talking about real brands. I'm not talking about, um, you're shooting for these brands. I mean, it is what it is. As models, we used to do something called I Spy. And so if you're a model and you go into a store and you did commercial modeling, the model would take a picture next to your picture and they'll say, well, I spy the model name that I'm modeled under. The same way with me. I would see somebody, I would take a picture, I spy, and you tag them in it. So that's how it went for people that were making great money. But anyway, at the time, I'm retired. Can't put on a high heel shoe. Don't call me. I ain't got time. Can't wear them. I can't believe she said she didn't know who Tommy Mottola was, but that's okay. So at that time, it wasn't so much the album. I had been modeling for a while, so I saved up money from that. Did a lot of commercial catalog type stuff, but I was doing well. Were you able to have an apartment in Manhattan? Yep, my own place. Get a girl. So, and pay for your own clothes and goods? Yep. Was it Tommy Mottola who introduced you to Mr. Combs? No. I met Sean through a producer that I was signed to. Who was that producer? His name was Ryan Leslie. He was also someone that she was dating. And Puff Daddy did what he does. He did what he does, right? Swoop, then we gonna work together. And then stuck his claws in. So who was Ryan Leslie? He's a producer, musician, and writer. I met him when I moved to New York, and we dated for about 3 years. And Ryan Leslie is a well-known producer, right? I'd say in the industry he's well-known, yeah. At the time, he was well-known. Yeah, for sure. People knew who he and Tommy Mottola were, and they were important people in the industry. That's a question she's asking. I guess you could say that. Lady, I'm going to need you to go back and do your homework. Did you look up Tommy Mottola? Child, she making me mad with the Tommy Mottola question. Now the Ryan Leslie question, I'm a little ticked off. But Tommy Mottola, girl, you're gonna stop playing for Tommy Mottola. Child, let me move on. So, and you were an up and coming star, right? I guess you could say that. You were young and had a successful album, and people were excited about your prospects, right? Yeah. Do you remember you testified yesterday that after you were signed to Bad Boy Records, so when you were signed to Bad Boy Records, you were still in a platonic relationship with Mr. Combs, right? Correct. Yep. Hold on a minute. Some 2 plus 2 is not equaling 4 right now, but let's move on. And you testified that he looked out for me. I had some rough performances, so he had my back through that, right? Yep. Wait a minute. Let me read this because the math ain't mathing, y'all. Wait a minute. Do you remember you testified yesterday that after you were signed to Bad Boy Records? So when you were signed to Bad Boy Records, see, she tripped the question up, and that's why I was confused. She asked her, "Do you remember?" You testified yesterday that after you were signed to Bad Boy Records, so when you were signed to Bad Boy Records, that's they should have objected right there. What are you saying? Because when she signed to Bad Boy Records, the video is here on YouTube. The day she was in a room with all these big execs, Puffy was sitting down at the end of the table. She was sitting with her boyfriend, Ryan Leslie, and they were supposed to be doing this joint venture where Bad Boy was supposed to be working with his record label. That's when she signed. So this could be, do you remember you testified yesterday that after you were signed to Bad Boy Records, then she changes it mid-question to, so when you were signed to Bad Boy Records, you were still in a platonic relationship with Mr. Combs, right? Objection. That's what should have happened right there. She says, yep. And you testified that he looked out for me and I had some rough performances, so he had my back through that, right? Yep. What performances are you talking about? I had one specific television performance for BET, a show called 106 in Park that used to do a countdown of all like the top records at that point. Yeah, it did not go well for me. Was it live or pre-recorded? It was pre-recorded. Still somehow ended up like that. Yeah. And how did Mr. Combs have your back in that? After it happened, I spoke to him about it, and we did like a YouTube video where he kind of said to everybody makes mistakes, and we're moving on from it. Cassie's moving on from it. Another way of grooming. Sorry, y'all. That's just survivor speak. I'm just looking at it. Because anybody know that if you get out there and do the misstep and not sing the song like I told you, anime. Sing the song like I told you, anime. It's gonna be a situation. So here he excused it. She's on 106 in Park, and she messed up, and it's a pre-recorded performance. He didn't get mad. He didn't. Because he's still grooming her. All right. Anyway. Oh, it was just bad. I couldn't hear myself. Just didn't sound good. Why didn't he make sure that was all crisp? He was then all in the videos in his shiny suits, taking all of the shine away from the people, the talent. Stop. And what was the general public's reaction to that performance? Everybody recognizes objection. That's sustained. How are you going to ask about the general public? What feedback did you receive about that performance? That it was great. Yeah. So it must have meant a lot that Mr. Combs supported you through all of that, right? It did. Still doesn't give him the reason to put his hands on her. I'm just so confused about how they're saying all these things and making that be okay with child. So you just said that prior to your relationship with Mr. Combs, you were in a relationship with Mr. Leslie, right? Mm-hmm. And how much older than you was Mr. Leslie? I believe 10 years older. And when did you start dating him? When I was 19, 18, 19. How old were you when you started dating him? Oh, I'm sorry. When you were 18 or 19? And you testified that you took a trip with Mr. Combs in Miami after your 21st birthday, right? Yep. And you wanted to spend the weekend together, so you came up with a flyer, I believe you said. I didn't come up with the flyer, but the flyer did happen. Yeah. In anticipation of your trip to Miami, there was a flyer that was made, right? Yep. And that flyer suggested that there was a club appearance for you in Miami, right? Yes. And the purpose of that flyer was to give the impression that you had a professional reason to go to Miami, right? Correct. And the reason for that was because you were still dating Mr. Leslie, right? Oh, Lord. Yep. So that he wouldn't be suspicious of you going to Miami. Yep. When in fact you were spending the time with Mr. Combs, right? It was. And your friends also went on this trip to Miami with you, right? One of my girlfriends. Yeah. Who was that? Carrie Morgan. Oh, boy, did we hear about Carrie Morgan. Child. And how long have you known and been friends with Miss Morgan? Well, we are no longer close, but we remain friends. We met, I want to say early teens, 14, 15. Yeah, we were good friends for like 17 years. So Mr. Leslie doesn't know that you're on this trip to Miami and you go to Miami with Mr. Combs and Miss Morgan, right? Not that the detail matters, but I think he knew I was going to Miami. He knew I was going away. So you dated Mr. Leslie for 3 years, right? And it was relatively serious. Yeah. In fact, I think you had a tattoo of his initials on your body, right? Mm-hmm. And that wasn't your only tattoo at the time, right? No. How many tattoos did you have? Objections to relevance. Overruled. But let's try to keep it moving along. How many tattoos did you have? At what point? By the time you met Mr. Combs. By the time I met him, I probably had 3. 2 or 3. Did you have one on your forearm, on the inside of my forearm? Yes. What did that one say, or does it say? It says no regrets. No regrets? Yeah. So because you spent 3 years with Mr. Leslie when you started dating Mr. Combs, it wasn't the first time you had been dating an older man, right? Second, but yeah. And you testified that this weekend in Miami was the first time that you and Mr. Combs had relations, right? Yes. You testified that after this trip to Miami that Mr. Combs was the person who introduced you to the idea of oral pleasure, right? That actually happened before that trip. Oh, before the trip. Yeah. When you were seeing him at hotels in New York, right? Yeah. And presumably you were seeing him in hotels in New York because you were still dating Mr. Leslie. That was part of it. When Mr. Combs invited you to the hotel after he kissed you at your 21st birthday party, you understood that the invitation implied that he wanted to have an actual relationship, right? I'm sorry. I just got a little lost. If you could repeat it, sure. When he invited you to his hotel room and implied to you that he wanted to have an actual relationship. Which point is this? Sorry, between your 21st birthday and the Miami trip. I don't know that that makes sense timing wise, chronologically. I'm so glad she caught her because she, listen, this is the games that the defense is playing. Child, say the 21st birthday so she can repeat what happened again, girl, on what she said on direct, because this doesn't make sense. The way you're asking this question, the way you chopped and screwed it. Girl, bye. When did he invite you to the hotel rooms in New York? Okay, you was talking about the 21st birthday. Can we go back to that? Not just leave that out there as a cliffhanger. Like, girl, where y'all at? Objection. Where y'all at? This was prior to the Miami trip. At that point, when he invited you to his hotel room, did you understand that he was inviting a actual relationship? I don't remember honestly. I was definitely getting to know him though. But you remember that's when you were introduced to the idea of oral X, right? Yes. And that wasn't something, as you testified, you understood or did at that point, right? Correct. And that he was the one who taught you how, right? Yep. Can we pull up for the parties, the court, and the witness defendants exhibit 1351, Miss Ventura? Could you please take a look at this and tell me when you're ready? Okay. Miss Ventura, does this reflect an email between you and Mr. Combs on October 14th of 2007? Yeah. Move for admission. No objection. 1351 will be admitted. Please publish for the jury. Can you read from this or would you prefer if I read it? You can read it. I can also read it. It's just it's making me giggle because it's from 2007. Cassie, you better get snappy on the stance now, Cassie. I know we're taking you back. You can do it though. We've only really had 1 week of each other just together, and I can say that it's been the best and worst. Oh damn. Did you really want I've never felt so loved, safe, and empowered since we've come together. When I'm with you, I feel like I'm your woman and no one else's. I feel protected when I'm in your arms and so comfortable that I can sleep and not worry about anything. You are one of the sweetest, most sincere people I've met in a long time, and I cannot express enough how grateful I am that you've chosen to be a part of my life. I don't want to rush things, but I can't help but sit with you and dream up a beautiful future together. Who knew I'd fall so fast? You make it should be make me feel like I can do anything, and that's real. On the other hand, you're constantly weary of me. I'm sneaky. I never seem to make the right decisions to you. I'm a spoiled brat. I'm dramatic, disrespectful, and for some reason you just don't trust me. It always goes back to, well, maybe Kerry would have been the better one to go after, since I've witnessed more than once you realizing that she is way better fitting for you than I am. It's hard for me to handle that, as I feel like I have given so much of myself in the short time, but whatever. I can take it. I'm guessing there will always be something negative. I don't know. I really don't. She's confused. I'm hurt that you think that I'm a malicious person. The dinner I went to last night was definitely at bad timing, but it had been planned before all of the drama, and things had to be handled, just like you have to handle your business. I never step on your toes when it comes to handling yours. I'm about to get on this plane, and I'm sad, mad, frustrated, and hurt that you just don't feel like I'm the right one. I really do love you, and I hope to just be able to learn what it is you want in a woman and give it to you. You're very important to me. I hope you know that. and it's .xcast. There's a lot in this message, right, Miss Ventura? There sure is. Yeah, I know there's a lot in here, and we could take it one at a time, or you can tell me what you think you were trying to convey at this point. At this point, it was very, very early. I don't know. I'm just reading it like it's a journal entry. It does appear to be journal, like, doesn't it? Letting it all out. Do you have any questions for me first? Cassie said, hold on. Do you have any questions? I'm letting it all out. You got any questions? Let me put it this way. Your relationship with Mr. Combs was complicated from the very beginning, right? Yeah, pretty much the beginning. It was complicated by your relationship with Mr. Leslie, right? Yes. That ended kind of quickly, though. What do you think you meant by saying I'm sneaky? Probably that. You think it's probably related to your sneakiness with your cheating on Mr. Leslie? Could have been. I don't know. When you refer to the dinner you went to the night before being bad timing, do you know what that was about? No. This message reflects pretty open and honest communication from you to Mr. Combs, right? Yeah, it was usually like a one-way street when it came to messages like this. You were honest with him and he wasn't necessarily always honest back. I don't know, he wasn't honest, just I put a lot in there. So maybe not honest so much as you were open with your feelings and you sent him messages that reflected those messages more than he did, right? Yeah. And this message also suggests that his relationship with you was complicated by his relationship with Kim Porter, right? No. Based on the time on this message, based on the date of October 14, 2007, was he still seeing Kim Porter at the time? I actually don't know. I don't know what the status of their relationship was then. This message suggests that you are hoping to have more of a relationship with Mr. Combs, right? Yeah. You're dreaming up a beautiful future together, right? Uh-huh. And you also discussed your friend Carrie Morgan in this, right? Uh-huh. Did you think that Mr. Combs had an attraction to Carrie Morgan, Miss Morgan? There was a point in the very beginning, but again, I don't remember like ever talking about it like this. So, did that complication carry on in your relationship? Not really. Carrie just was always with us for a while. She was in your friend group, right? Yeah, she was my closest friend. And this also suggests that you very quickly fell in love with Mr. Combs, right? This is just a few weeks after your 21st birthday party. Yeah. I like to start talking about freak offs a little bit. Okay. On your direct examination, you told us that at least in the beginning, you disguised your appearance, right? Yeah. And when you were meeting someone new, you also disguised your appearance, right? Yep. Sometimes you wore a wig. Yeah. Yes. In the beginning, you had a masquerade mask. Yes. This is because Mr. Combs and you were well known and recognizable, right? That was the main reason. Yeah. And you wanted to be discreet, right? Yes. Why did you want to be discreet? The encounter itself was pretty crazy. I mean, I really follow his lead on that because I never had done it before. Is it fair to say that you didn't want anyone to know? Yeah, definitely did not want anyone to know. Was it your understanding that Mr. Combs didn't want anyone to know either, right? That's my understanding. Yep. You also testified on direct that you feared for your career if tapes were released, right? Yes, because that would have been embarrassing, right? Totally. Mr. Combs is also in those videos, right? Some of them, I'm sure. Yeah. And your lawsuit in November 2023 that you testified about on direct, that was the first time that the term freak off ever became public, right? So far as you know, so far as I know, right? The general public did not know about your objection. I think there's a rephrasing that can be done there. Based on your understanding, until November of 2023, you were not aware of other people knowing about the freak offs, right? Besides the participants, I guess. Yeah. Now, we all heard, I'm going to get a drink. I think we all heard about the freak offs, right? By this time, before this time. I think we all had started hearing about this, right? I don't think Cassie is a YouTube person. I know definitely it was over here before that 2023 lawsuit. I believe so. I believe we've heard about freak offs way before that. Diddy party, some people would say freak off, the lady that I never mentioned on my channel, she was over here on YouTube at that time talking about the freak offs. Like, come on. it's been around since, but I guess Cassie didn't know. Because I don't, like I said, I don't think she is probably into YouTube like that. But anyway, so you mentioned on direct examination that you feared that the release of any explicit tapes would ruin your career, right? Yep. From your perspective, what happened to Mr. Combs' career after your lawsuit? From my perspective, objection, overruled. Sorry, can you repeat? From your perspective, what happened to Mr. Combs' career after you filed that lawsuit? That's a lot. Fair to say that his career was ruined? Objection. No, it was not. It was not ruined. His career was not ruined after she filed that lawsuit. It wasn't the lawsuit. It wasn't the lawsuit. It was the tape. It was the tape. Am I right or wrong? It wasn't the lawsuit. It was when the tape leaked on CNN. That was kind of it. Based on your understanding, it calls for hearsay and speculation. Objection is overruled. What is he doing? What do you mean? Like, how could she? She doesn't know what's going on with him at this point. Child, you can re-ask the question. When your lawsuit was publicized in November of 2023, you understood that his career was ruined at that point, right? I could understand that, yeah. Based on everything that you heard after your lawsuit, objection. That's sustained. You already let her cross the line and you already let her cross the line. So, like, can we put up defense exhibit 1007 for the parties, court, and witness? Your Honor, this exhibit is 14 pages long. If the witness would like to read it, could we pass up a paper copy? You may. Does this reflect a text communication between you and Mr. Combs on June? We will see the timestamps between July 29, 2012 and July 31st of 2012. It was the CNN tape. When CNN leaked the tape, that sealed the deal for him. And then that's when he came out, because remember, at first he said she's lying. This didn't happen. It never happened. Like the lawsuit, it never happened. She's lying. That did not happen. Everybody was getting the documents and reading the court documents. He was like, she's lying. That didn't happen. And CNN dropped that tape. And that's when he went on there. I just came on here to make this apology. I'm sorry. It was a bad time in my life. I went and tried to get help, and the help didn't help. And then I got worse. And, me seeing that, made me less than a man, feel like less than a man. And I know I let y'all down. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for 2004. I'm sorry for 2004. He never said, I would like to say sorry to Cassie and, for putting you through that day. You still didn't have to admit to all the other abuse at this point. You could have said, you know what, Cassie, we were doing what we were doing. You know what I'm talking about. And I'm sorry. That's not who I am. Never said anything of that. Everything was about him, just as a narcissist would do. Everything was about him. Everything was about him. And then the IG apology. Exactly. Everything was about him. Nothing was about, I'm sorry. Nothing to Cassie. Nothing. And it was a dark time in my life. And it kept raining in the clouds. And the clouds was black right over my head, and it was raining. Yeah, he never apologized. So he just kept making excuses for himself. But the thing is, you already settled the suit. Was it less than 24 hours? You settled the suit so that you could continue to go on social media with this narrative that Cassie is lying. I never did none of that. They can't prove that. But then Did anybody ever say what CNN got that tape from? Is that, I know the guy, did the guy that just testified yesterday, did you sell it? Did y'all make copies of the tape and sell it to, who sold that tape to CNN? Inquiring minds would like to know. Did they ever say? Okay, we're gonna just leave that there. So yes, it looks like a communication, and I believe this encompasses a large part of Government Exhibit 346, Move for Admission. No objection. Exhibit 1007 will be admitted. I believe that some of this was read during your direct testimony, but not all of it. Can we begin? I'll be Mr. Combs halfway down the page. What you want to do tonight? Can you read the blue bubbles? Yep. I don't know. What are the options? Am I meeting you in the Hamptons or will we be in the city? In city. Whatever your heart desires. Well, I getting kind of late. We can just go to bed. You'll probably be tired. This is what Diddy is saying. I doubt that. I am going to sleep on the plane. Laugh out loud. So what you want to do, woman? And no, I'm not asking you to FO. I want to know what you want to do. Get something to eat, smoke, take a walk. Debbie Carter has a party tonight. I'm horny as F. Also, by the way, and please sleep on the plane. Smiley face. That means that they're going to do a freak off anyway. I already know the way is reading that they are going to do a freak off regardless of what he said. I'm not talking about an FO neither. He knows that is whatever. Anywho. And it looks like I have off tomorrow and I need some Valium, which is there. It's a pack in my top drawer. Hello. Hello. She says, Ish, I'm already down the hill. I'll go back up. I'm at the beauty store. Okay, let's go out and have some carefree fun. Don't tell her I'm coming. I want to surprise you if we go. I'll go get the Valium when Greg comes to get me. I really need to go pack. He comes in 1 hour and haven't even started packing yet. We will play it by ear. Don't worry about Valium if it's an extra move. I'm at apartment now. When are you on your menstrual? I think it was Cassie because it was said when she left the hotel, she tried to come back so he wouldn't be mad. And the people at the hotel not to come back and gave her a copy of the tape. So you think that Cassie, I did hear that she had a copy of the tape. I heard that, but I didn't know if it was her. And if it was, oh gosh, she really got him, didn't she? Wow. You beat him at his own game, huh? You settle for millions, and now you going on CNN right now, not now, right now. They're going to rerun it all day for a week. Oh, my gosh. I'm sorry, y'all. So he says, we will play it by ear. Don't worry about volume. If it's an extra move, I'm at apartment now. When are you on your menstrual? And what's carefree fun? I'm skipping it. Just taking it as it comes. Are you on it now? No. He says, good. Are you orny? She says, yes. How orny? What would you be thinking about when you're orny? I think about you on top of me and inside. The way you look at me and talk to me like that, I love looking up at you and hearing you, Mom. If you don't ever want to read the message, I can read it for you. Thank you. You like it when I moan. Laugh out loud. I'm a moan more just for you. I love it. Laugh out loud. That's really what I think about. I love the way you talk to me when you're on top. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get your things. One of my favorite times is when we FO'd and then when we made love after that. I also like it when we made love before and then just was in next room. Then he came. Oh, they left somebody's name out. Then he came in and I blindfolded you. Child. Diddy, what the? Yeah, I like those times. I love when we make love after. The last time was so good. We are at my place. I came so hard for so long. We can stop there. The so has lots of OS following it, right? Yeah. You're talking about a freak off that you had. We are talking about a freak off. I'm talking about us making love after. And often during a session of a freak off, you would make love with Mr. Combs, right? Afterwards, yeah. And in this message, you're telling him that you love it when you make love with him during that freak off, right? With him. Yep. And he's also talking about one of his favorite times when you had an FO, right? Yes, I think. And he also loved it when you made love after, right? Objection, sustained. He also told you that he loved it when he made love with you after, right? That's what it says, yeah. Before that, you're discussing your menstrual. Mr. Combs is asking you when you're on your menstruals, right? Yeah. And he's asking you that in the context of planning to meet up to have X, right? Yeah, it looks like that. And presumably he's withdrawn. And you tell him that you're skipping your menstrual, right? Yep. And you're telling him that so that you can plan a freak off, right? I don't know exactly what I was thinking then, but probably, yeah. Why would she say that? That's not what. Okay, anyway. In the context of a conversation about planning a FO, you're telling him when your menstrual is, right? Yep. Can we skip to page 11? Please. I'm sorry, page 10. Mr. Combs says, I want you to tell me a new fantasy of how you want it next time. Would Dave turn you on? And you say, I don't know. I haven't even had time to think about it. I've been trying to think about you with a girl to get into it. And I think I'm starting to fantasize about that. That's what you say, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what you told Mr. Combs on July 29th of 2012, right? Yes. And prior to this, withdrawn. Do you recall having conversations with Mr. Combs about you watching him with the female? It happened, but not often. The discussions or the instances, both. About how many times would you say it happened, actually watching him have X with a woman? 2 or 3 times, maybe 4. And about how many times had he proposed it? Had he proposed it? Yes, he brought it up. I don't know. I don't have like a number. He brought it up frequently enough. And this was in the context of something that he referred to as a swinger's lifestyle. Yeah, I believe you testified about this on your direct examination, right? Mm-hmm. That he understood that the freak offs were objection, withdrawn, sustained. Do you recall having a conversation with Mr. Combs about the swingers lifestyle? Yes. And based on those conversations, withdrawn. What do you recall from those conversations? From those conversations, the earlier ones, it was just about what the swingers lifestyle is, what you see, how people act, how nobody talks about it. That is what I knew of it. And then actually seeing it in person at X clubs, you see exactly what it is. Did you understand that FOs were consistent with Mr. Combs' description of the swingers lifestyle? Can you reword that or ask it again? Sorry. Did you understand the FOs to be related to the swingers lifestyle? Related in an actual way? Yeah, they are very different. When you said that nobody talks about it, that means it's a secret, right? Yeah. When you kept it a secret, did that mean that you were also keeping it a secret from your friends? Objection, vague. Were you keeping it a secret from your friends? Can we define it? Were you keeping FOs a secret from your friends? Yes. You testified on direct that there were employees of Mr. Combs, right? He has employees, yes. He has personal assistants, yep. And his personal assistants do all sorts of things for him, right? Yep. They help him wake up in the morning, yes. They arrange for his breakfast, yep. They cater to his every need, right? Whatever he needs, yep. And you testify on direct that they would sometimes assist in setting up hotel rooms for these FOs, right? Correct. But the personal assistants didn't know what was going on. Objection, sustained. Did a personal assistant ever come into a hotel room and see what was going on based on your knowledge? Based on my knowledge, no. But they had come in the room during that period, yeah. I don't know if they saw anything. It's probably the better way to say it. You will remember if an employee came in a room while you were in the middle of a session with a paid worker, right? Would I remember? Probably, maybe. I don't know. I was high as well. So much of it you don't remember actually because of the rugs. No, I remember. I had my privacy invaded quite a bit while I was in that relationship. So I can imagine. You don't have any specific recollection of an employee walking in while you were in the middle of a FO, correct? No, I don't have any specific recollection. No. Did you ever tell any member of his staff about the FOs? No. And Mr. Combs had other staff other than personal assistants, right? Yes. He had bodyguards. Mm-hmm. Drivers. Yes. He had chiefs of staff. Yep. He had other high-level executives. Yep. And you never told any of them about what was going on during the FOs, right? No, I did not. And you wouldn't want any member of his staff to find out what was going on in the FOs, right? I definitely didn't. No. Can we pull up Defense Exhibit 1003, please? Your Honor, this one is 25 pages. If the witness wants to read it, we have a paper copy. May I hand it up? Okay, we are not going to read this whole thing. I'm almost done. I just don't want to miss anything. Miss Estevallo, Miss Ventura, does this reflect a text communication between you and Mr. Combs in July of 2012? Yes. And the earlier part of this conversation was a government exhibit, but we are going to pick off a day after that exhibit leaves off on page 18, please. Objection. It's not in evidence. Move for admission. I apologize. No objection. 1003 will be admitted. Can we go to page 18? In this text chain on July 14, 2012, you say to Mr. Combs, how's the party? I'm orny and bored. I tip the cleaning ladies. Hope you don't mind. Hello? I need your D. She's dying. I feel like I'm trapped. I'm sorry. I'm not on that page. I apologize. Page 17. I can read it again. I see it. You say, I'm orny and bored. I tip the cleaning ladies. I hope you don't mind. Hello? I need your D. Dying. I feel like I'm trapped. Yeah, this was after a FO, correct? There's a lot of text here. I don't know. You are discussing tipping cleaning ladies in this message, right? Yeah. And when we go to the next page at the bottom, you say, I love you. Had so much fun with you. I'm so happy. Thank you. And then the next messages has 4 exclamation points, right? Yep. This is on July 16, 2012, right? Yes. Can we go to the following page? Mr. Combs says, I love you. And then you text a series of photos of you and Mr. Combs. Looks like outside a private plane, right? Yep. Can we pull up the Defense Exhibit 1004? Please, just for the witness and parties and the court. Without reading this entire exchange, does it appear to be another text communication between you and Mr. Combs? Oh, thank you so much, Allie. I was like just so into trying to get as much in as I can. It's 7:49. I didn't even see that. Thank you. I saw it come over there, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It is just that the battery dies, and then I have to switch it. So, yeah, that's what that no signal is about. I thought I set it to but all right. I think I saw a pussycat. A pooty cat. All right. Hello. And I'm back. Thank you so much, Allie. All right. So she's asking, without reading this entire exchange, does it appear to be another text communication between you and Mr. Combs? It appears to be. Your Honor, I would ask that the witness be allowed to read the entire exchange. Miss Estevallo, are you only going to be asking about particular parts of this exchange? Yes. If the whole thing is being offered into evidence, we will get to that. It hasn't been offered yet. I move for admission. Then the witness is going to have a chance to read the entire. How many pages is this? 8. Okay. Do you have a copy for the witness, or would you like her to read it off the screen? Unfortunately, we don't have a copy of this exhibit for the witness, Your Honor. Ms. Ventura, if you can look at the screen, let the staff know if you need to move through the pages, okay? Ms. Estevallo. Miss Ventura does. There is 9 pages. Next page. Okay. Miss Estevallo. Miss Ventura, does this reflect the text communication between you and Mr. Combs? Yes. Move for admission. No objection. 1004 will be admitted. Much of this conversation you went over during your direct testimony, right, Miss Ventura? I don't know about most of it. I remember it in my direct. Do you remember the portion on page 4? A lot of D's, a lot of partying. Yes, I do. Why she had to go and pull that one out? Why she had to go and talk about that one? That was ugh. And Mr. Combs said, so you feel sick? I'm sorry. You say, yep. And you asked, why are you sorry? Yes. And during your direct testimony, you were asked why you asked that question, right? And you responded something to the effect of, well, he never asked that. He never said he was sorry before, right? About what was going on. Yeah. Can we go to the next page, please? Mr. Combs says, can you make it? I think it will be good to go in with Will tonight. Rube can take you. You say, how are you? I love you. Mr. Combs says, I'm missing you. Misspelled. And you have a frowny face and say, staring at our pictures from the plane, I miss you. Mr. Combs says, I love you. Good morning to my queen. Have the greatest day of your life and get a lot of work done. You say, good morning to my king. You mean everything to me with lots of extra O's and E's. Your Honor, is there a question coming? Am I reading this accurately, Miss Ventura? I'm just waiting to find out what you want me to answer. Am I reading this accurately? I believe so. You're just reading it. Oh, shit, Cassie. Wait, hello, Cassie. Cassie, come here and hold on, Cassie, now. And then do you respond? I will never have the greatest day of my life until you're back home, right? Yes, I see that. After Mr. Combs says, I'm sorry, and you respond, why are you sorry? You exchange messages of love and affection, right? Yes. Fair to say that when you say, why are you sorry? You mean, why would you even ask? If you're sorry, you have nothing to do with that. I don't know. Ciao. During your direct testimony, you testified that Mr. Combs often put you down, right? But he also often built you up. Absolutely. Yeah. And often sent you very encouraging text messages. Yep. And often told you that you were a queen, right? Yep. That is a way of, I build you up to tell you back down. You're nobody. I can build you up and I can tear you right back down. That is a grooming tactic. That is something to keep her in confusion. That is something to keep her mind on a teeter-totter. Like, I don't know. It makes you confused. I'm sure that there is a lot of women that have been through this at a young age and probably understand. But, when it's not you, you can have all of the bad things to say. Oh, I would not. You know what? Listen. I probably would never fall for some of this stuff. Not the FO stuff and all that. But when the guy love bombs you, I'm sure we all been there. He may not love bomb you until you're down, but he might love bomb you, and then his action says something else, because then he may be out with Rhonda later. Dipping on your Ninja Honda with Tanisha and Rhonda. What? Yeah, one of the hottest verses from Little Kim. I can love you better. Yeah, y'all know it. She's so used to apologizing, even if she didn't do anything. It's sad. But she's not used to him apologizing. So I'm not sure why this attorney, like, now you're trying to flip why she's asking him, why is he saying sorry? She already said because he never does. So it caught her by surprise. He's introducing something new here into the game. I just don't understand how women, I'm not talking about the freak off. I'm not talking about those. I'm not talking about everything that he did to her actually. Right? I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking, like I said, about the love bombing part. Some of us women been through the same thing young. Nose wide open, these boys tell you something, and then you hear, like I said, They're cheating with Tanisha and Rhonda. He gonna come back and love bomb you. They lying. You know you're the only one for me. You're the one. You know it. So yeah, I'm just trying to. I don't understand how people that act like, oh no, I've always been above that. I never let a guy love bomb me. Like some you don't know when it's coming when you're young. That's why your mama tell you stay in school. Keep your mind on books, not boys. You got all the time in the world for that. I know that's what my mother used to tell me. You got all the time in the world for boys. Keep your mind on books, not boys. Boys can mess around and get you in trouble. So yeah. Yeah, I just don't understand how you're going to try to change what she said. I mean, I get it. I get it. This is a lot of stake on the line for this guy. But like, oh my gosh, I got this outside. Like somebody said, I heard somebody say, he a prosecutor. They were talking about this, and she kind of had to shut them down. Like, oh my God, like this just does not add up to racketeering and everything. It just does not add up. Like I don't forgot what she said, but I love this. She's a young prosecutor. At first, I was like, wait a minute. Saw her a while ago, and they're always calling her for her opinion when it comes to all types of cases and what she thought, because she was a prosecutor before. She was a defense attorney before, but she just looks very young to me. So I'm like, wait a minute, what time was you prosecuting cases? But yeah, she has a very she keeps a very open mind, and she kind of like she steps into the prosecutor's shoes, kind of like, and tells you like, okay, this is where they could be going, and for what. And somebody's saying, oh, I don't get how she's saying that's what you're saying. But the reality is, you guys need to stop looking at this case and looking at these things in a single lens. It is the totality of how he ran amok all of these years, and he had all of these people under them that did his dirty work for him. And that's why it becomes an enterprise. The money laundering, the extortion, they have already proved that. The sex trafficking, they proved that anytime you fly somebody out and pay them, it is, unfortunately, in the United States government, when they put it in a federal case, it is under sex trafficking. People need to look up the definition of sex trafficking, but look at it under what it says as it relates to the law. Look at it there. And that's a part of that. And even if you want to say, well, that's prostitution is not legal, people. It's not. It's not. This man threw people off yachts, had them jump in. You find a way to get back. Took somebody, Lord, allegedly he took somebody's passport and told them, you'll find a way to get back to the United States. Do you know how that feels? Like, how in the heck am I going to get back in the United States when I don't have a passport? Do you know what it is? Even if he waits till right before they're leaving and say, I ain't leave you out here. The mental stress that you put somebody through, whether it be a day or two, to have them thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to get back in the United States? Oh my God, this man threw me off. People sneaking into other people in his entourage's room and sleeping on couches because he better not go in there and do anything. And the thing that really, really got me and disturbed me so greatly when it comes to this man is, first, he told his workers when they could and when they could not leave his house. So not only is that kidnapping, Not just the women that he's allegedly dating, but that is his staff. You're telling them they cannot leave your house unless you tell them that they can. They worked all of these long hours without being paid. That is where the labor laws are coming in. And that is a charge under RICO, forced labor. But what really got me, and it was already testified to more than once, is that they stayed in his houses. And when they stayed in his houses, you could not lock the door. He told them, nobody's locking the door in here. This is my house. And this is how he was able to SA some of the people that actually worked for him as an assistant. If you remember Dawn testifying that she pushed a dresser upside the door one day. I don't know how she got away with that. Maybe there's some testimony that came after that I didn't hear. We're going to get to her shortly after Cassie gets off the stand. But listen, so you're saying what? I can't lock the door. That's something more like you tell your children, don't be locking no doors in here. These not your kids, these are your employees. What are we doing? Anywho, let's go on. The show must go on. Child. Oh, I can't. So, all right. So, but he often built you up. She said, absolutely, yeah. And often sent you very encouraging text messages. Yup. And often told you that you were a queen. Right. Yeah. And often encouraged you to be the best artist and woman you could be. Right. Yes. There are many, many examples of that. Right. There are. And we don't need to go through all of those text messages. Yeah. Suffice to say that there are many, many text messages that reflect that. There were uplifting text messages. And what other ways did he build you up? Other ways did Sean build me up? I mean, words were helpful. He has got this energy, just that inspiring energy. So words. Can we please show the witness the court and the party's defense exhibit 1005? Your Honor, we do have a paper copy of this. It's 26 pages long. He said, let's have a brief sidebar. So here is the sidebar notes because this is an official transcript. So the court says, I take it that a lot of these text messages, the government does not have an objection to their admission. However, it is fair for the witness to be able to review them before you seek admission. Because of the length of these exhibits, that takes a little bit of time, and it's eating up time in front of the jury that probably does not need to be eating up, because there is probably, I can think of at least two ways to avoid this issue. One is that you gave the text messages to the witness to review by herself over just seek admission, and we wouldn't have to go through this. The other way is to break up the exhibits, a little bit more time consuming to focus on those portions that you seek to admit. That would also save time. For present purposes, are there questions that you could ask to get us through to the lunch hour so that we can make good use of the jury's time? What time does the court want to take lunch? The court, I think the jurors will have their lunch by 12:15. We can take it later, though. We can go as long as we want. I'm mindful of the concern that was raised concerning the witnesses' availability. As I said yesterday, I'm planning to tell the jury to take 30 minutes and come back. Just be mindful of that. I'd like to go longer if we can. However, if this is a good breaking point, I can also stop earlier. We are way ahead of you, Judge. We want to make these exhibits smaller and more to the point, and we plan on doing that because this was a rushed process. Child, it was a rushed process. Why? Why was this a rushed process? Because your client, you told your client that you guys were not ready to take on this case. You were not ready to go to trial yet, but your client insisted on a speedy trial. So if this is a rushed process, then whose fault is it? talk to your client during his lunch so he can take your heads off verbally. They kill me with that. This was a rushed process. Talk to your client. Talk to your client about that. Y'all could have did this way after Cassie had this baby and all this. Y'all could have did all of the, the prepping that y'all needed to do. But this man needed to have a speedy trial. So, in his, to make sure the court does not run afoul, here we go. And the reason why he's trying to have this trial, it is just, listen, child, all I'm going to say is, he think he's going to be pardoned by the man in the White House. 50 Cent said, listen, no, he ain't. Look, Trump, let's talk about it. So he did not say he was pardoning him, but what he said was if he's being mistreated, he may think about it. Like I said, did he pardon Ghislaine Maxwell yet? No, he did not. He's pardoning him. And Larry Hoover, he should be mad. Look, Trump, you should have left me where I was at, man. I was in federal prison chilling. You done pardon my federal sentence. Now they done sent me to the state. This is good. Give me my sentence back. Unpardon me, please. Because he cannot do anything about his sentence. But I do want to tell y'all that listen, I was wrong, and I thought that Puffy had to be sentenced before he could pardon him. That's not true. They call it, God dog it. And I had it in my mind yesterday, the type of pardon that they call it. I said, what? What? So, you know that the guy in the White House loves social media. And you see the social media PR campaign is being ramped up by the Diddy man. The lady with the outburst in court yesterday, she's been at the courthouse. She's been coming there. You gotta look like they don't want you to know. But everybody that's at this courthouse, you have people that are for it, pro-Diddy, and they're anti-Diddy. So if you approach somebody to say, with this t-shirt that says free Puff, we'll pay you $20 an hour, and you are anti-Diddy, you like, hell to the no, to the no, hell to the no. And then you go and say something about it. And then you go. We got all types of news stations out there. You got content creators out there that's definitely out there getting content. Influencers, whatever you want to call them. And so now you got this person out there saying, yo, they just told me they'd pay me $20 an hour to wear that free Puff Daddy shirt. Where do you think they're getting it from? People just making this up out the sky? That's not true. That's not true at all. I'm just saying, y'all. Look like we're about to come to an end here, but let us read and see what he's saying. If he's going to break right now, then we're going to break for the day. And tomorrow is a day that, just to give you like some type of schedule for me, tomorrow, definitely my mother, the day switches. I had the days wrong. She probably had the days wrong. So Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, she's going in the morning. And then on Thursdays, she's not going anywhere. I have, got to take her out to some places. She got her some new glasses. And, just so that she can get that exercise, because she's doing very well. I'm glad to see that she's back to her. She's getting back to her. She's stronger than ever. Proud to say that, I'm able to leave her outside with her friends. We have everything set up for her where she will be okay. So, do what a daughter should do. Do what you should do for your mother. She can't do a lot of things that she couldn't, so I make sure the place is clean. Oh, yeah. I go there. The guy upstairs, I don't know how to take this, y'all. I live upstairs from her. Oh, I brought this down. Oh man, I can never get my apartment to smell like this. If I pay you, will you clean my apartment? Is you crazy? I ain't no daggone janitor, man. This is my mama. I told them, listen, clean the bathroom every other day. Make sure you don't leave no garbage in the house at all. I don't even care if it's a piece of paper. I take my mother's garbage out every single day. We don't leave no garbage. We don't have, my mother is, she's doing better, but sometimes when, she eats, I said, Lord, she got rice all over the place. We keep the Lysol and Clorox wipes on deck. Soon as she finishes, make sure I wipe that table down. Listen, she don't, no, the bed sheet, I do all that, y'all. I might as well be, whatever it is that they call the people that come. I might as well be that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna mop the floor. I tell them, like, listen, that's what you gotta do. And if you're old school, y'all know about that. The old school people, listen, it's just a habit that my mama told me, and she's something that she still go by. We pour bleach down the drains. Pour the bleach down the drain and run some hot water, and then that's what my mama said. And so that's what we do and keep those yeah. All that type of stuff. Yeah, I don't. Listen, sir. I've never been in your house, and I'm tired of you asking me that question because you done asked too many times, and I'm starting to feel the type of way. Don't ask me that ish no more. I'm not cleaning your house for no pay. Thank you very much. Are you crazy? Yeah. If you come clean I'm not cleaning nothing. I cook for my mother. So I'm like today, I brought her something. Listen, I'm not cooking today. Here you go. It's what your favorite. So yeah, those are all the things that I do. I make sure I check and I look around, and I notice that she's been moving around. I'm like a little I spy. You've been moving around more. You've been moving around here, doing little stuff that you shouldn't be, because I found you dropped this stuff over here. And I'm like, what in the heck? Where did that come from? Oh, what you doing? What was you doing? Oh, okay. I see you now. So I'm glad, I'm happy. Like, she's getting back to her, and right now she's knitting a blanket. It's beautiful. And I'm happy. And so yeah, so that's why you'll get to see me like 3 days in the morning, and then if it's not too much at nighttime, on I think it's, what is it, Monday and Thursday. And I have, the weekends, and I have some other things I need to take care of for myself now that we switching off times a little bit. But nonetheless, she's getting back to her, even though something happened. I'll tell you about that later. That scared me. It has nothing to do with her. It's just that people are psycho. What? Woo, I just was like, hold on a whole minute. People are crazy nowadays. You got to look around. Keep your head on a swivel. I guess I worked in law enforcement, and I had to keep my head on the swivel, so it was always instilled in me. But some crazy man came to my mother's building yesterday, and security talking about he was there to sell them solar. What? So when I got there, the cops was there. I used to work with the guy that's doing security. He used to be a correctional officer. I worked with all the people. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? This guy said he was selling solar, but his business card is this piece of paper that he just wrote all the information out on. He's like, but I didn't call the cops. I wonder who called the cops. I didn't. So this guy had on a mask up to here. He had on some black shades that covered the hat, pulled down over the mask, and he had on a windbreaker jacket. He had the hood over his head. You could see nothing. I said, you can't even see. Like what? He said, yeah, that's what. He said, I was telling. I told him, leave your card here. You can't. And she said, when he laid this paper there, I'm like, what? They asked him, they patted him down. They did read him his Miranda rights. I said, they're reading him his Mirandas. And then they checked his bag. I don't think they checked his bag good enough. I would have dumped everything out of his bag. Come to find out, when they said, we're going to send you to the hospital to be evaluated. We're concerned that something is going on with you. And I was like, wait, I turned my head for a second and I was saying to the guy, but that is the fire department. And then the door, they got him in there. So I said, wait a minute, did one police officer get in there? What happened? So he said, I'm about to find out. So he asked him, what's going on? He said, yeah, he came in the building, said something about he was going to sell some solar. And he has this piece of paper that he had. And it's supposed to be his business card. And they said, yeah, he said he went to school for that. He was showing us something on the phone. And he was like, well, who called the cops? There's a school across the street. He had went to the school first. And lucky, it's the elementary school that the security over there was thinking on their toes and called the cops. So he went from there to inside where my mother lived, and the security was like, nah, you got a business card or something? I'll give it. So like the people in the office, when they come, by then the school had already called the cops. They just wanted him off the grounds because it's scary. It's like, what the heck? And so that's how they came. And that's where they they supposedly took him to the hospital. And they basically said, if you see him around here, just call the cops. I said, what in the whole entire, just imagine he would have got into a classroom or got into this building where, elderly and disabled people live. And he would have got inside somebody's apartment that could not defend themselves. So that's why I said, the cops did not do a thorough enough job looking in this guy's bag. They did not. You took a flashlight, you unzipped it, took a flashlight, and that was it. What about opening the outside pocket? What about just dumping all his stuff on the ground? He's clearly trying to hide his identity. Like, it's just like, okay, when it's time for you to really do your job, sometimes you just, I'm glad y'all showed up. I'm glad y'all showed up. And then, as I was walking up, more cop cars were coming. But now you should have dumped his bag out completely to find out what else is in that bag. Even they told him to lift his shades up. He lifted the shades up, and then they told him to pull his mask down. He dropped the shades back down and then pulled the mask down and then put the mask back up on his face. I mean, he had the mask way up here and the glasses sitting on top. You couldn't see nothing. He never, ever took the hood off of his head. Never. Y'all didn't ask him to remove his hood. I would have made him unmask himself completely. I need you to take the hood off, the shades off, and the mask off. Everything off. We need to see who you are. So that if he shows back up there, without any disguise on, they'll know who he is. He may come back a different way. I'm like, wait a minute, like, I'm pretty sure all of y'all, you cops, all heads put together, y'all couldn't figure that one out. What good was telling him to lift his shades up and then just pull his mask down and pull it back? Okay, I digress. Whatever. They sent him to the hospital, but they should have the cops should have still, made him unmask himself completely. Like I said, I had turned my head for a second and he went. I'm not sure if one officer got in because the ambulance and fire department worked they're the same. They're one unit where my mother lives. But he definitely needs to be escorted by police. It definitely needed to be a cop there when they talked to him to see exactly what was going on with him. To make sure that he didn't need to be in cuffs. Because what are we doing? That's the only thing. That's the only gripe that I have. Like, it just was so weird. Weird. I'm just getting comfortable in this. Weird. But yeah. So like we were at the end here. So it says I like to go longer if we can. However, if this is a good breaking point, I can also stop earlier. We are way ahead of you, Judge. We want to make these exhibits smaller. Oh, I said that. She already said that. I suggest we get through that exhibit and then take our break. Miss Comey says, may I hand this to the witness? The court, you may. And they say, thank you. In open court, Miss Ventura, you can take a moment to review the document and let us know when you're ready. Okay. So they didn't leave. So, Your Honor, there is a 412 issue with this exhibit that we just found. Give me the page 15. And I believe there is an additional. Your Honor, I agree with the government on this one. See that? It's the same thing. Now, if the judge didn't call the sidebar, y'all, she wouldn't be talking about she agreed with this one. No, you was gonna let this one slip in. Stop. Why don't we put this to the side for the moment, Miss Esteballo? You can ask your next question. During your direct testimony, Miss Ventura, you discussed the instant withdrawn. During your direct testimony, you said that Mr. Combs would periodically call you incessantly, right? Yes. And this was a frequent feature of your communications with him. Yes. If you didn't pick up the phone when he wanted you to pick up the phone, then he would continue to call you, correct? Right? Correct. And this was especially the case if he suspected that you, objection, it's speculation. I don't know what you were going to ask, but you can rephrase the fragment and we can see where we are. When do you recall withdrawing? What would trigger this incessant calling from your perspective? From my perspective, what would it trigger? It could be anything from not telling him where I was, many things, just angry with me about anything. Why do you think he was concerned when he didn't know where you were? I think because he would assume I was cheating, but I don't know. If he gave you reason to think, withdrawn. When he suspected that you were cheating, he would call you objection. Same objection. That's overruled. When he suspected you were cheating, he would call you incessantly, right? It's one of the reasons. If you didn't answer the phone when he called, he would jump to the conclusion that you were cheating on him. That's sustained. Your Honor, my next series of questions are about exhibits. So if it makes sense to take a break, we can do so. Just give us 1 second. Are you prepared to move forward for a few more minutes just so we can make efficient time? Sure. Let's keep going. And then we will take a break shortly. During your direct testimony, you talked about the ways in which Mr. Combs was consulted on your appearance, right? Yeah. And you would periodically text him photos of your clothes, right? Yes. That's crazy. Objection. Mischaracterizes testimony. It's overruled. Would you send him photos of your clothes? What I was wearing? Things like that? Yeah. And send him photos of your hair? Yep. And ask him what he thought? Sometimes, yeah. And is Mr. Combs generally known as someone who has good taste? Objection. Can you rephrase that question? Do you believe that Mr. Combs has good taste? I think he does, yeah. And do you believe that Mr. Combs is known publicly for being objection? That's sustained. Mr. Combs is a celebrity known for many things, right? Yep. What are some of the things that he's known for? He's known for his music and production and artistry style. Is he known for his impact on the culture? Yep, absolutely. Is he known for his impact on fashion? Yep. How to your knowledge has he had an impact on fashion? I would say he has had a big impact on fashion over many decades. In what respect? People like his style. He's styled by a stylist, though. Stop. He style. If he sees somebody that's wearing something that doesn't have a lot of money, he takes it and put it on out to the masses where this person wouldn't able to be for. He jack styles, basically, is what I'm trying to say. He has a stylist and he also jack styles. That's it. All right. That's what it is. He may see somebody in New York or something on down there. He just driving through Harlem because that's where he's supposed to be from. He see a guy on the corner. Nobody's really looking at, only the people in the neighborhood know that this guy is fresh to death. And YouTube, that does not mean that somebody is unalive. That is a term, okay? So that's a term that's used in the culture. Well, it was used, back in the day. And he will take what he saw and take a picture or something, tell a stylist, do this and make it better. We're gonna make this, we're gonna put this out there and make it pop. And that's how he got a lot of his style. Jacking people's style. Stop. I think somebody got on the stand or in the interview that one of his stylists did on one of these channels. one of these YouTube channels. They told it. If he's still in music, come on. Sean John didn't do well at all. Them button-up shirts with the polka dots on it, made in China. All that stuff that his sweatsuits, yeah, they was kind of nice. But my daddy had his own sweatsuits. It's just something that, you know what I think he recreated? He tried to recreate, his style was a lot like Dapper Dan in New York. So let me tell you something. So where I grew up at, I didn't grow up in New York, but the boys from where I grew up from, they were, rug dealers. And they would go to Dapper Dan's, and Dapper Dan would make them all types of sweatsuits, put, Gucci on it. That's why he went to jail. So I'm not spilling no tea here. That's why he went to jail. So he would make them Gucci suits that said Gucci fit, but he would put his own spin on it. Sweatsuits, everything. He would even go so far as, you bring your car over to Dapper Dan's. The guys had the tricked out trucks with the Gucci rag tops, the Fendi, everything. Fendi, Louis, it was all going down. Dapper Dan's is a legend in his own right, and that is why when he got out of jail, one of the very same companies that he went to jail for imitating, let him make his own line. Gucci and Dapper Dan and Gucci. Make that make sense. Don't say Survivor Speaks don't know about her history, because I do. Man, let me tell you something. He was doing right, like, I don't know. He was making the stuff, putting the stuff on the trucks and stuff like that. I never forget this guy. He had a green truck. He bought it for his wife. Her first name started with a T. His started with a J. He had Dapper Dan made something for the rag. It had a heart in the back, and T loves J. It was just crazy. Dapper Dan is very talented. And a lot of the sweatsuits that I saw Sean John, he was doing MCM too back in the day. All types of all those brands. That's why he went to jail. But a lot of the sweatsuits that I saw from Sean John, and Dapper Dan's from Harlem. Sean John just like recreated a lot of the sweatsuits and stuff that Dapper Dan made originally. The velour sweatsuits. I didn't see Dapper Dan. He didn't really have no shiny suits, but the velour sweatsuits with the leather down the side and all that stuff with the jackets and the name on the back and all that, the leather button down short jackets look like the baseball or jersey with his son name on the back. That's all Dapper Dan and from Harlem, y'all. Stop. But the BS that he had in Macy's, that's straight from China, made from China. But anything that had swagger to it a little bit, he tried to recreate what Dapper Dan from New York was doing way back in the day. Don't play with it. Dapper Dan was fly in the moon for. I said, wait a minute, they done caught Dapper Dan up and took him to jail. Lord, y'all boys better be putting something on this book, because he kept y'all fly back in the day. The velours with the leather down the side. Stop playing. Don't play with it. Where I lived, them boys was always fresh to death. The girls, they had Gucci jackets, and it said they full name, Love this one on the back. I was like, God, where y'all go? We heading to Dapper Dan's. Dapper Dan's was making bank. You hear me? Sean John, you couldn't do it like Dapper Dan. But I'm so glad that Dapper Dan came out and was able. He did his time and was able to create and connect with Gucci, legally, and do his thing. And still do his thing. And Sean John had nothing on Dapper Dan. Nothing. For always know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Just pull up Dapper Dan. You may not see all the stuff that I seen growing up, because that was in my hood where I grew up. But I'm telling you, I'm talking about cars and everything tricked out. Gucci, Louis, MCM, all that. You name it. You name it. Let me tell y'all something else, right? Y'all remember that Misa, excuse me, I don't call her Mia. Misa said that she was the only reason why she was at the trial was because my son said he needed me. My son said, Mommy, I need you to be there for me. I am not here for Puffy. Well, y'all know. I told y'all I called my best friend like, I'm gonna need answers. I want to know why Misa is up here in this. So they got to talk, and you don't see Misa no more, right? But let me tell y'all, Misa has had a very, very long professional working relationship with MCM. The people that make the real MCM. I don't think that it was good for her to continue to go there and to support her. Even if she's supporting her son, it still seems like you're showing up with the family. It doesn't look good for you. And come on now. And I get it. She doesn't really F with him. But when you are somebody that are part of a brand and people know you for being part of a brand, oh, Misa is definitely MCM. Right about now, she's been at MCM. I don't even want to call her an ambassador. Like, she's big time when it comes to MCM. And see, MCM had to make a comeback because MCM was in, and then it was kind of like out. It wasn't really trending, but it's trending. It's trending. I don't think that looked well. And so when people started questioning it, because I saw enough questioning, yo, what's going on? Like, why is Misa? I thought, and my boy was like, she what? I said, on a walker. She got a walker. He said, let me find out. She had an event the Sunday before that. She hurt herself at her event. She had a big event. It didn't even have anything to do with MCM. But she had a big event because her daughter is, growing into being a fashion designer. Her daughter she's not mixed up with, the diddler. I don't even think Justin is. When he comes to the court and they be like, hey, little wolf, I'll be like, ooh, ooh. He do look like him, ooh. But I don't think that was a good look for her. And I think that that's why she really, really stepped away. Because it's not good for you. It's not good for your brand. It is not good to be, attached to him. At this point, what's coming out is just like, it's just his narcissism is on public display right now because he could have avoided all of this. The thing is, they only need one charge to convict him under this RICO statute. They need one charge that the jury agree on unanimously as a whole to convict him under this RICO statute. And a lot of these charges he could get up to life for. So, would he stop his bag for you? For always. I'm just trying to be nice. Listen, I'm just trying to be nice. Listen. It is so ironic how this man ended up passed away. He's not built like any of the rest of his children. He looks just like Wolf. And it is what it is. What type of man wants to steal somebody else's children? We all know this is not the first time. Come on, Quincy, go on home and get your father. Go be with your daddy. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. That boy looked just like him. I'm with you 100% on that. That boy, that boy looked just like him. And so It is what it is. I mean, if that's what they want to continue to, to say, then I didn't even see this jail. Um, so yeah, if that's what they want to continue to say, um, then that's what they continue to say. If that's what, they want him to believe, and somebody was like, oh, he wasn't paying child support before, and they took a test. I don't think that that's true. I don't think they took nothing. It was not good for somebody to say that this is my child, for Puffy to say this is my child, and you're not taking care of him. That wasn't going to fare well. That wasn't going to go over well. But as we all know, that Justin may be in some hot water. He has some a case that's still looming over his head. May he fare well. His mother's just not happy with that. So let me see where they stopping at here, because this judge is like, y'all gonna keep going. Let me just look down these 2 pages. This judge has let them go on and on and on and on. Is he known for his impact on fashion? They say, yup. How to your knowledge, has he had impact on fashion? I would say he has a big impact on fashion over many decades. In what respect? People like his style. Did he also found a clothing line? Yes, it sucked. She didn't say that. She just said yes. Was that clothing line very successful? It was. What's the name of that clothing line? Sean Jean. And did his involvement, creation of that clothing line, earn him any awards to your knowledge? Objection, foundation, hearsay, it's overruled. What? I don't know. I believe he did, but I don't. And you consulted with him periodically on your own look, right? Yeah, sometimes I got information without asking for it as well. Yeah. But in many ways, you trusted his perspective, right? Yeah, I did. And to your understanding, many people respected his perspective in this regard. From my perspective, yes. To your knowledge, did other people consult with him on their look? If he had the time for them, yes. Did other artists on his label consult with him on their looks? Come on now. Yeah. Was he consulted on various aspects of marketing and production for the label? I'd say so, yes. I mean, none of this don't have nothing to do with him being a loser, creep. What other professional roles did Mr. Combs play? An actor, company owner. She said an actor. That was a sly, slow, like, dig. Yeah. What other way? An actor. Oh yeah, he was in a couple. He was in a couple of movies, I guess. Would you say he was a very busy man during the course of your relationship? Yep, he's very busy. He had lots of meetings. Meetings, yes, yes. And he met with lots of advisors. Yep. He met with the managers and accountants and lawyers. Yes. He was very busy. Very busy. He ran multiple companies. Yep. Successfully. Yep. He was very wealthy. Oh, yep. He ran multiple companies. Yep. He stole most of the artists that was under his label are still fighting for their publishing rights today, and just money that he owes them in general. Ciao. He was very wealthy. I believe he was wealthy, yes. And he continued to be very wealthy and very successful and very busy during the course of your relationship when you were having FOs, right? Yeah. And when you were having FOs, he was also consuming lots of substances, right? Yes, we both were. At least as much as you were. Yeah. And likely more. I don't know. And he would also have to take time to recover from those from them FOs, right? Yes. Sometimes the recovery would take some time, right? Yep. And sometimes you got IV drips to help recover. That is horrible. Yep. You know what? I never knew what it meant. Like, I'm not. I saw, I don't say that girl's name on my channel, but I saw, like, I want to say it's fairly recently, within, maybe 2 years ago, Blue Feces was his first baby mama. That's what I'm gonna call her. His first baby mama was, because she tried her hand at this music. He wrote her a couple of disses against Rashawn. I saw, they were always filming something, and he loves to record stuff that will embarrass you. I have some very embarrassing footage of that girl, and I'm like, you know what, nah. Anyway, so I saw her, and she was performing, and they were in the back of the car, and she had a IV drip in her. And I'm like, what is that for? What, did she fall out? Did she hurt herself? I'm like, what? I never freaking knew. And then people started saying, oh no, they get those when they get too high and they've been partying too long. And then I was like, I've never. And somebody that I was like, oh, those are it's not rare. Those are, I said, I've never heard of it. And this is the first time that I saw somebody sitting in the back of a truck with an IV bag in their arm. And the rapper is holding the bag. Listen. Okay, so each his own. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about that. Okay. So sometimes she asked about the IV drips, y'all. Child. And during this time, he was still running all of his companies, right? Yes. And still attending board meetings, right? To my knowledge, yes. And still traveling all over the country and the world, right? Yep. And would you say that he was a high functioning addict withdrawn? You would say he was an addict, right? I would say he was an addict. What was he addicted to? She says success. Cassie, you better. People need to start retaining Tyrone Blackburn because he keeps dropping the ball because of not following. Child. Whoa, she says success. What substances was he addicted to? Yo, Cassie got that off. I think it varied over the years. It depended on what he was taking. I don't know exactly. Was he addicted to opiates at a point? Yes. How do you know that he was addicted to opiates? Because he told me. Did you also see him taking opiates? I had seen him, yep. You would see him on a regular basis taking opiates, right? Often enough. I don't know about regular basis. Depends on when you're talking about in the relationship as well. There were points of your relationship when he was heavily dependent on opiates, right? Objection. It's overruled. There were points in your relationship when he was heavily dependent on opiates, right? We both were. There were points. And what is it like to withdraw from opiates from your experience? From my experience, it's just really painful. I mean, withdrawal of any kind. You just are super sick. You can't really do normal things like function normally. When you say sick, what do you mean? For me, specifically with opiates, when I stopped taking them, I would be nauseous and I would have like stomach issues. There's various things that can happen. Does it affect your mood or mental state? Absolutely, yeah. In what way? I think you're more agitated, just really uncomfortable. Did you ever witness Mr. Combs go through opiate withdrawal? I did. You witness this frequently, right? It depends on what's frequently, definitely more than once. Over the course of your relationship, you would witness Mr. Combs attempt to lessen his dependence on opiates, right? Yes. Is it fair to say that his opiate use would go up and down? You could say that. I don't know specifically what he was taking, like day to day, so I don't know. Is it fair to say that there were times during your relationship when his drug use was worse than other times? Objection. Foundation. We have not established. Hold on. That question needs to be rephrased. Did Mr. Combs' mood, from your perspective, depend on whether or not he was withdrawing from opiates? I'm sorry. Could you reword that? When Mr. Combs was withdrawing from opiates, he was more irritable, right? Yes, I would say, and more angry. Yeah, and more volatile. I don't know about all those things, but you're definitely irritated when you're coming off of opiates. Yes. There were times in your relationship when he was more irritated than other times, right? Yes. He would go through periods of time when he was in a bad mood nearly every day, right? It went up and down. Were there certain years in your relationship that were worse than others? I think so, yeah. And from your understanding, were the worst years associated in any way with his drug use? Yeah, I would say. In what way? I mean, from my perspective and in my mind, like rugs don't help you do anything. So he was taking them and not doing well. That's what happens when you take rugs. You said that when he's taking rugs, he is not doing well. Is that what you said? I was saying from my perspective, like my mind, if I'm taking rugs, I'm not doing well. Like, I'm sorry. I am just trying to follow you. My question is confusing. It's okay. When Mr. Combs was using more rugs, was his mood worse? I can't specify. There was a lot of rug use. There was a lot of rug use. You witnessed a lot of rug use by Mr. Combs, right? Both participated. Yes. She is trying to nail her to the wall and she's not giving her what she wants. So now she's upset because she's not getting what she wants. Child, just move on. Move on, girl. Give me a minute. I'm sending my daughter a message. So to the extent you can remember, you know that he took a lot of drugs at certain points, and you were doing drugs as well. I was. You were also addicted to opiates. I was for a period. Yep. What other drugs was Mr. Combs addicted to during your relationship with him? Objection. We don't know that she knows. It's objection. Yes. Foundation. No. It's objection, and then I'll inquire as to the grounds. Okay. Miss Esteballo, the objection is sustained. The question needs to be rephrased. Are you aware of Mr. Combs being addicted to any other rugs? No. Oh, she said no. What other rugs did Mr. Combs do in your presence? She says ecstasy, MDMA, Schnocaine, GHP. Is MDMA something that you get addicted to? It's a good question. I don't know. Did you ever get addicted to MDMA? I didn't feel that I was ever addicted to MDMA. No. Did you ever feel like you were addicted to Molly? No. Did you ever feel like you were addicted to Schnocaine? No. Based on your experience with Mr. Combs, did you ever understand that he was addicted to Schnocaine? No. Were you ever addicted to GHP? No. From your experience with Mr. Combs, did you ever understand that he was addicted to GHP? Not to my understanding, no. Based on your experience with him and all the rugs that you did, what was his primary rug of choice? His primary rug of choice, from my perspective, was ecstasy or MDMA. That's in the context of FOs, right? Partying in general. That was a party rug, right? Yep. And opiates were a daily, regular rug, right? For me, at least. Yeah. And based on your experience with him, for him as well, right? When he was doing them, yeah, daily, I would say. And you said before that you have witnessed him withdraw from opiates, right? Yes. And based on those experiences, how did his mood change during the withdrawal? I haven't thought about it in a while, and I'm not a doctor. Oh, Cassie, you better lay the smack it down, okay? Your serotonin levels are definitely messed up after you party and take certain pills. So coming off of them, yeah, you'd be pretty irritated. If Mr. Coles was withdrawing, would that affect how you interacted with him in any way? I'm sure it did to a point, but I don't. There was no telling when somebody is actually going through that unless they tell you. Well, sometimes he told you, right? Sometimes he told me, right? In fact, you exchanged lots of text messages about withdrawing, right? Yeah. And the side effects of withdrawal, right? Mm-hmm. And that includes feeling sick, right? Right. And like flu-like symptoms, right? So in your text messages, if you're talking about flu-like symptoms, it might be that you're discussing withdrawal, right? Objection. That's sustained. Is throwing up or vomiting, isn't it the same thing? Am I slow? Or is throwing up and vomiting the same thing? Isn't it? It's throwing up or vomiting. It's the same thing. Another symptom of withdrawal. I'm just asking, am I a little slow? Because isn't that the same thing? Um, Another symptom of withdrawal. Oh, she said symptom, not plural. She said it in singular. So okay, I guess. All right, it could be, yeah. And during your direct testimony, you were talking about you used a phrase rolling, right? Yes. What does that mean? It's when the high is really at its peak during taking like MDMA or ecstasy. Is vomiting a side effect of taking MDMA or ecstasy? It was for me. What do you feel when you take ecstasy or MDMA? It's a feeling of euphoria. You're sensitive to touch, sensitive to sensations, but notwithstanding the side effect of throwing up, you would still take MDMA or ecstasy to feel that euphoria, right? Say it again. You would take ecstasy to feel that euphoria, notwithstanding the side effects of vomiting, right? I would take ecstasy and MDA to be high during FOs. You have taken ecstasy and MDMA outside of FOs, right? We had Cassie like, I'm not giving it to you like that. I'm not giving it to you like that. Um, it just wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my rug of choice. Do you understand ecstasy or MDMA to be a rug of choice during X? Yes. Outside of the context of FOs, you've heard about this concept, right? Yes, it's a popular activity while taking ecstasy, right? Objection. It's overruled. Let's go ahead and take our lunch break now. Members of the jury, we're going to come back at 1 p.m. So see you then. Have a nice lunch. The court, see you back here at 1 again. You are not going to have any discussions with the government. Gotcha. Thank you. No, yeah, she tell the judge, gotcha. Child. Miss Estevayo, can you give us a rough sense of where we are in your course in terms of timing? I have many exhibits to go through. I think I underestimated the estimate yesterday. They're trying to drag out the time, y'all. They're trying to run the clock out. Cassie is a whole 8.5 months pregnant here at this time. And we all know that she gave birth to a healthy baby boy. Don't know his name. That is for her to let you know what her child's name is, or you can get it elsewhere. I don't know his name anyway. But I do know that they, report that the baby is healthy and it's a boy. So I think I underestimated the estimate yesterday. I think I'm going to confer with the team over the lunch break to try to narrow the exhibits and try to come up with a better estimate, but just non-responsive. She says guilty, like, oh, I love this judge right about now. He said, but just not now. She understand, judge. He said, but now you're just non-responsive. She says guilty. Mr. Donaldson noted when this came up that the last time, I'm not holding you to this, but I need to know what we're looking at so we can have a discussion on scheduling. Let me make it easier for you. Are we talking about you think you're going to be done today or no? You think you're going to be done in the morning tomorrow? Mr. Agnefield, here he go getting up. I was told that I would be the one to fall on the sword, which is my role at this trial. I think we're definitely going to finish this week. I think it's going to be all day today. It's going to be all day tomorrow. We're going to do everything we can to finish as soon as possible. But the court says you recognize that this that is the exact opposite of what I was told yesterday in this courtroom. Call them out. Call them out. Yes, that's why there is a sword that I must fall on. They're trying to run out the clock, y'all. So we're up until late into the night, and we knew the court was going to ask this question. There is a lot of material to go through. It's the most important witness in the case. We're trying to do it quickly, and we're going to try to do it by the end of the day. We're working 2 long days. By the end of the day, Friday, I definitely want to put the court on notice and the government on notice. We might not be able to do that. We're going to try to do that. The court, this was the subject of discussion for, I don't even think it's weeks, I think months, that this witness needed to be off the stand by the end of the week. So what happened? I never understood that. I understood. Am I wrong about that? No, Your Honor. We've been very clear for months about the timing concerns, and we were assured yesterday that this cross will be finished by tomorrow at some point. Our direct took less than 2 days, probably a day and a half, and we would ask that the court exercise its discretion under Rule 611 to limit the cross-examination to the length of the direct examination. For present purposes, we don't need to get into this because we have limited time. We're coming back at 1. And everyone needs to do what they need to do. A few things right now. The exhibits you plan to go through, is there a way to provide them to Ms. Ventura so she can look at them? Yes. For those that aren't going to be objected to, I want to avoid having that time being wasted in front of the jury. If there's a way to do that, let's do that. That's one thing we could do. The second thing is an observation that if there's no objection to the exhibits coming in, if they are authentic and there's no substantive issue to raise and those go into evidence, the questioning, there may be the ability to question the witness and get all the answers that you're looking for without going message by message through these exhibits. That's another way to streamline things because you have a witness that is here and answering questions. And so I'm just making a suggestion. You can do the cross how you plan to do it. I'm not trying to tell you how to do it. I'm just offering that in an observation given the time and concern that we have. Hold on a minute, y'all. Hold on a minute. Now, why would she wait till? Hold on 1 second. Oh wait, I forgot. I have to unlock my. Oh, it's not. All right. All right. So. All right. And so he's saying he's just making a suggestion. You can do the cross how you plan to do it. I'm not trying to tell you how to do it. I'm just offering that in an observation given the time and concern that we have. That way, you have the exhibits and that you need to get in and can ask the questions that you want to ask. And maybe there's a way to streamline things. So as I always say, if there's a way to streamline things over the lunch break and over the evening, I would invite you to do that. Yes, Judge, we will do that. One thing I want to point out is the government chose to call 2 witnesses before this witness. Get at them because that is so true. They could have called her first. Oh yeah, now this is on the government. Yeah, which took up a great deal of time. So I don't know that this artificial deadline of the end of the day Friday should be held against us when it's the 3rd witness in the case. Oh, this is the defense's over there, just yeah. So we all knew she was going to be early, but they chose not to call her first. That wasn't our choice. So we are going to do everything we can, but it's a critically important witness, the court. I appreciate that. And so my suggestion is that it's always good to streamline things. It helps the trial move forward swiftly. So that's just the suggestion that I had. If there's a way to do it, if you have some ideas on how to streamline things, great. As to the scheduling issue, I'm going to think about it over the lunch break and we'll figure out what's going to happen. Ms. Comey. Yes, Your Honor, if I may respond to what Mr. Agnifilo said, as he knows, and as we told defense counsel, the first 2 witnesses had scheduling issues and were not going to be available to testify otherwise. That is why we tried to streamline their directs and why Ms. Johnson was incredibly efficient in getting a direct done in less than 2 days. I understand all of that. So we'll come back at 1. And so they went on to lunch recess. So tomorrow in the afternoon session, we will be picking up the afternoon session of Cassie Ventura. If something comes up, I will let you guys know. I will schedule it, try to jump a submarinium. Said, yeah. Judge Submarinium. Yeah, that's his name. Said Diddy requested a speedy trial, and that's what he's getting. So hurry up and get it together. You know what? Always, you always be hitting the nail right on the head. You heard me. That's exactly what it sounds like. He wanted speedy. He got it. He should have waited. And that's all that I'm saying. He wanted the speedy trial. The judge, the government, they oblige, and that's what he's getting. And so everybody else's schedule, no more, is being done around his schedule. They're working around other people's schedule. And I'm telling you that the Diddy man does not like that. I need to be the focus of this. This trial is about me. Let me tell y'all, just quickly before we get out of here. Now, they said they think he's going to get on the stand and testify. They better watch out, because he's going to get up there and it's going to be New Jack City on these fools' head. And this one, and and the other day they came down and he came. They didn't tell about those freak offs. Why they didn't bring those F offs into this case? They should have, because that one over there and that one and this one, he passed away at the freak off. And they moved his body over there. Gonna be a whole New Jack City situation. Listen. He's a narcissist. We don't know whether he's really going to testify or not. That is just, we have to wait for the defense case in chief. And we shall see. And they normally save the witness to last and ask the question. It's a whole little situation. Are you going to testify? Yes. Did anybody threaten you or tell you? Yeah, all those questions. If he says no, then did your attorneys make you aware that they cannot hold this against you because you decided not to testify in this trial? And y'all know how it goes, and on and on. But T.B. and Diddy, always the star of the show, he made me thinking, listen, this can go either way. I need one more time on the stage. Well, Diddy, don't worry about that. Because I do believe that what they don't get you on in federal prison, I do believe that some of these states, they're getting ready. It's going to go down. He's arrogant that even if the lawyers say not to, he will do it anyway. Well, the lawyers can't tell him not to. They have to word in a certain way. It is not in your best interest to get up there on the stand and test the lie. Right? But we all know Diddy's arrogance, his star power, his larger than life personality. There are so many things that he has to sit there and listen to and face. So many things that we did not know about. Who knew that he was on all of those drugs? Who knew? I didn't. Now, they say that, Snowshnane is a party drug and they do it like candy in Hollywood. Listen, I ain't never tried no Snowshnane or nothing like that. So guess what? I don't know. But what I do know, this man has a lot. He has a big ego. He's a big narcissist. And only time will tell whether or not he takes the stand. And if he does, this case is already a big sensation. You can bet your bottom dollar that the world is going to stop. Stop Diddy time. Because people want to hear, because he has to be cross-examined. You're not going anywhere else. So if you get on that stand on direct, be ready to be cross-examined. Now remember, Diddy is a charmer. Diddy is a talker. Diddy is an actor. All that. He loves to grab the mic and have all eyes on me. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. So, we will see, won't we? Yes, we will. Once again, shout out to For Always, Forever for Life. If you see the crown and the number 1 next to it, that is something new that YouTube has added. So you are the number 1 commenter over here at this time. And so, yeah, they have came up with this thing. It is a great tool that we can use. And I did say, so, yeah, there is 4 watching. So before I forget, I will do it today. For always say he ain't that charming. Listen, now he ain't cute. he's not attractive, but we gotta say, we gotta say, he can charm his way into some things. Now we don't like it, so you know, let's just see how's this thing working here. Now, before I leave tonight, child. All right, I already know that. Y'all, every time I get ready to do this every month, okay, I see it. There you go. So before I go, yeah, I send out five. I don't know. Um, Memberships, and Lexi received the membership. They're not here. Sneaky link. I guess your membership had ran out, but it's renewed. Rhonda Hayes, Tiana S, and Essence Cardoza. Welcome to Survivor Buzz. You can now take advantage of the channel emojis. Whenever you do come through here, like I said, we don't get to pick who gets the memberships. YouTube does that, but they do give us memberships to hand out monthly. And yeah, so we do take advantage of that. And now that it's easier to deal with, my mother, she's getting stronger. I'm going to, plan something for the members only. It may just be a video, but it will be something, exclusive. May do a giveaway. I have to see how things really roll, and then we'll take it from there. Shout out to Allie, and for always, forever, for life. And Nessa stopped through today too, but like I said, she's really an Instagram girl. She's not really over here on the YouTube, but shout out to them for always. Thank you for always coming in here and hanging in here and sticking in here. Allie as well. She's probably with the baby right about now. She's probably listening, but she's with the baby. So we do understand that. At least we know what's going on. And I'm going to end the show as I normally end it by bringing awareness that men get breast cancer too, because of the stigma surrounding the word breast. We have changed the word to peck and or chest cancer over here. So let's continue to break the stigma and continue to bring awareness that men get breast cancer too. And to all of my ladies, please make sure that you're getting your mammograms, feeling on your boobies to make sure that you are all right. All right. And don't you dare let anyone come into your house and disturb the peace that passes all understanding. I am Survivor Speaks. I'll see you guys in the next live stream or video. Peace. Bye, everyone else is watching on YouTube. Bye.
Survivor Speaks is the name at the end of the day. People love me or hate me, I don't care either way. Breast cancer busted through like a leaf in the night. A cancer's ass was knocked out before the end of the fight. A champion coming through, knocking everything out. This is hard if you see, I do nothing for clout. Just like cancer, I'll let nothing take me out. So be respectful when you step foot inside of my house. Over here to have your ass escorted on out. Talk about the bushes, wrap your feet, take a seat, and get comfortable and chill with your girl. Survivor Speaks, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Who, what? I'm Survivor Speaks. What time is it? What time is it? It's time for you to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you get a notification each and every time that I go live. Yeah.